Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'll be your captain tonight on the flight to nowhere. A country that's in economic stagnation, with chemtrails flying over our heads to modify the weather. This flight to nowhere will be a trip to an awakening of sorts, a place to learn about the country, how wasteful it is, and how we're heading nowhere with the two-party system. We don't even know if this guy's been drinking. He may have had a couple too many. He seems a little stiff. No, Ed didn't create the intro. Yeah, we want to start with chemtrails. Hear that over my house? That's a jet, unnecessarily flying over a populated area of 50,000 people. So what I'm going to do is begin to frame what this presidency is all about. We have a problem with chemtrails. They are literally being dumped on our heads on a daily basis. If you don't accept that or even know about it, because there's ample evidence to prove that it's happening, we're kind of in a situation where we can't really go forward in any real way until we get a consensus to figure out what's really going on. Not only are they sticking chemtrails in the air, but they're putting dangerous things in our bodies and forcing 74 vaccines on children, and it's causing a higher rate of autism and ADHD. The number of people that'll die of vaccine-related illnesses in the elderly area is very high as well. Many people believe that they may be contributing to Alzheimer's. And it's not just aluminum or mercury. There's other really dangerous things in these vaccines. There's a product called Nagalase. And it is so dangerous, it's tumor-producing product that it automatically is injected into your body. And they're doing this, they don't want anyone to know. You can look up Nagalase, do a word search. They're holistic doctors that are dying left and right. Now, 18 of them have died in the past 2 years? All of them from mysterious circumstances. None of them, there's no real cause of death. They're being killed because they're talking about this product, Nagalase, that they discovered in every vaccine. It triggers tumor growth. So they're spraying us in the skies, they're sticking needles in us. They want to put RFID chips in people. That's even built into the rule. The actual Affordable Health Care Act has a condition in it where if a patient needs to be tracked, they'll RFID chip you in your body. It's in your aspirin too. I did not know that. So we really believe that there's an awakening that's needed here for us to get a third party off the ground, and I'm using every means possible to awaken you. Now, when I talk about chemtrails, it's a huge risk because you're automatically going to say, like this person said, oh, you start your show off talking about chemtrails. Well, that happens to be the industrial waste that they're dumping in the sky. They've chosen to drop the industrial waste that they would normally recycle, you would think, into our skies. So these are products that are sequestered. Remember the FutureGen project? FutureGen project was started under Bush. It was a carbon sequestration project that really never went anywhere, but we put about $20 billion into it over the past 8 years, or actually more like 15 years now. Well, the FutureGen project was probably the origin of the chemtrails. They started sequestering industrial waste, carbon, and they put them in canisters, and they got ready to deliver them in the air above us because they didn't know what to do with them. So they thought, well, solution is the best solution to pollution is dilution. That's what they always thought. So they've been diluting the Pacific Ocean with chemicals, medical waste, so why not throw it in the air? And the government has no oversight. You never pick a new person. You never leave the two-party system. So you get the same old cronies that are completely owned and operated by big companies like Monsanto. So when you trust the wrong people all these years, you see the end is near. And unfortunately, we have no real penetration to the mainstream media. We only have this venue that we talk to you every night about. So we're fighting an uphill battle just to break through the censorship while we bring you credible information about the dangers that are happening in our world. Chemtrails in the skies, do, chemies in the sky. So they are dumping chemicals all over the place. The government's even admitted to using lithium and dropping lithium in the air. Yeah. Well, I'm just bringing this to your attention because if I don't tell you now, you won't have any time to hear about it later. Hi there, Mad Dog. They are real and they are a threat, AMCO. The black chemtrails help weed out humanity, yeah. So here we are being dumped on with chemicals, and I think I got one more here. And there's nothing I can do to stop it. You can imagine how frustrating this is for me. I like banjo music. Yeah, Deliverance is a great banjo competition between a couple people. The movie Deliverance. I'm not here to freak you out. I'm just here to talk about these issues. So because this is Wasteful Wednesday, I thought I'd give you a good example of waste. This vehicle that you're sitting in is wasting tons of fuel on this flight to nowhere. I don't believe anything. I verify. It's like the old Russian statement, trust but verify. Yeah. Let me give you a good example of waste. Your brain right now watching this show, if you're not aware. Well, we have one goal in mind, and that is to improve the country. I can't improve the country if you can't accept what's wrong with it. If you deny that chemtrails exist, I'll sit here and wait for you to come to your senses. It may take a couple of years. And I've been here for 7 years waiting for some of you to come to your senses. Some of you have, and I appreciate that. But if you can sit here and just deny that it's happening and it won't really get fixed, will it? Yes, I would love a meeting with Speaker Paul Ryan. Absolutely. He's probably one of the few people I would talk to right now, because I'm so concerned about the direction the Republican Party is going under Donald Trump. I'd be more than willing to talk to Paul Ryan on the phone at any time. Have him call me at 707-YOUR-ATP after 5. Otherwise, it goes to a cryptic voice message machine, which I then read. Voice to text, it takes me a couple days. We will not be flying on our presidential jet with a bong. No. You know, there was a pilot that was flying inebriated, totally wasted last week. They reported that a year ago he endangered his entire crew. He had a .111 alcohol level. And they finally revealed this. It was a JetBlue pilot. Well, anyway, these planes consume about eight times more fuel than they need to consume, primarily because it takes a lot to get them up in the air. Now, jets are antiquated technology. As you know, unmanned aerial vehicles pose a greater solution for our national defenses than jets do. But our government's old school, and they still keep funding lots of money into companies like Boeing and Lockheed Martin. And these companies are really good at making jets. Well, not really. The F-35 is a disaster. It's a bucket of bolts. And it's turning into what last week they found out that 5 out of 6 of the jets that the government says are ready for flight have software glitches in them. It's like all kinds of lies are going on. One of the key ways that the government is being manipulated is Lockheed Martin makes donations to 60% of Congress. Every year they get about $5,000 each person. 60% of them. And the ones that are on the panel that oversee Lockheed Martin, all 23 of them get donations from Lockheed Martin. So why would they want to go against Lockheed Martin? So every year that $3 million that Lockheed Martin gives to Congress for getting reelected, by law they're allowed to do that. Every year they continue to rubber stamp their projects and give them $35 billion in contracts. That's the problem. That's the government waste at its best. And they're propping up jets that are wasteful. Now, I have a plan to create a blimp plane. Now, it's not going to cost your tax dollars any money. We'll be funding it with renewable energy savings bonds. This blimp plane could be up and running and flying across the nation within a 6-month period on one test flight. And then within a year, we could probably have about 20 blimp planes set up. Using the oldest of the 747s in the lineup, they would be able to rehabilitate these planes and get another 50 years of use out of them. Because these things cost about $350 million a piece. Not small change to make a 747. But it takes 80% of the fuel a jet uses just to get up in the air. And I believe that if we saved on fuel, our country's going to save overall. Makes sense, right? So renewable energy savings bonds will offer a return on investment for people, and it will fund operations like this that'll get a return on investment. Many different startups will be built by American government enterprises under my plan. We'll also stimulate the private sector with an infrastructure bank and offer 2% loans to U.S. businesses hiring U.S. citizens at a living wage. That's a way to stimulate jobs, big time. But funded by renewable energy savings bonds, this unit will actually deliver a profit fairly quickly because there's hardly any energy involved in getting this off the ground. These are just some of the ideas that I come to the table with to solve America's problems. Unlike any other candidate, I'm constantly thinking on my feet. Everyone else has to wait for a teleprompter to respond. AOL Dial-Up says they're doing chemtrails over Dave's house. You are correct. We get chemtrails all the time where we are. Yeah. I don't go out much. I do some lawn work. That's about it. Then I go back inside with HEPA filters on. I get into my car with a HEPA filter in it, running constantly, filtering the air. I don't even breathe the air that most of the people around here breathe, simply because I realized that this was going on, so I filter my air. I urge you to spend $59 on a HEPA filter, and for your whole family. And keep your windows closed, unless you absolutely are getting really hot and you don't have an air conditioner. Yeah, we're all getting chemtrails big time. Just look up in the sky. No, not AOL. HEPA filters are readily available. Let me show you one online. Okay? I'll get you a sample on eBay. eBay is a good place to buy them. I check all the time. You can get a nice one with a rotating ion filter inside with ionization. And ionization, what it does is it weights down particles so heavy metals will drop to the floor and you can vacuum them up. But price-wise, I've seen them as low as $59, but honestly, $119 is your typical price. Let's see. Price lowest first. Let's see what we got here. Here's some typical ones you can get. Tabletop. These are small. You need something a little bit bigger to filter the air in your house. But you can look at the list here I've constructed for you. Alex Jones is using Facebook to push his agenda. He's streaming live. Oh yeah, I believe it. I don't want to go there, but thank you. Yeah, Alex Jones is a COINTELPRO. He's been created in order to, it's called controlled opposition. They create the opposition to the organization that wants to control your life. So the very same people that are controlling your life with propaganda and controlling the monetary system, they pay his bills. They tell him what to say on his show. And he never endorses a political movement, but he will endorse a crony puppet president like Donald Trump, presidential candidate like Donald Trump. I'm left-handed. Okay, let's check out and find something affordable for you. $99, that's a cool one. That's fairly tall. $119 gets you a pretty nice one, Honeywell. We have these kind right here in our house. I bought 2 of those. And I've got a couple of HEPA filters ones as well. Yeah, Southpaw. But 119, 19 people watching, free shipping. That's kind of what you're looking at. But anyway, you can get one of these for your house and protect your family. Tap water is not filtered. No. Wrong. Wrong. No, Donald Trump won't even acknowledge chemtrails. He's part of the New World Order. he will never question chemtrails. He'll think you're nuts. I'm taking a lot of chances talking about things that most people would say, are you serious? You really believe that stuff? Yeah, we not only believe it, we know it's happening for fact because there's scientific evidence that's been going on for decades now. And Donald Trump can't come up with the ideas like this either. All of the ideas that I have contributed to our show are now being stolen by Donald Trump. In fact, he made a joke about a blimp plane over on April Fool's Day. So he's tracking what we're doing. And he gets most of his ideas from our show, but he always bastardizes them, meaning he's not going to be able to implement them the way he should be. I've been censored on this network. It's not something you can laugh at. It's quite sad, actually, that somebody thinks they can censor me. But somebody is taking our feed on one of these loops. People are downloading the feed and bumping it to other channels, UHF channels and cable channels around the globe. So we're reaching over 1 million people right now. And I assure you, this is not going away. The awareness factor in this country is growing rapidly. And a lot of you morons who support Trump, you're going to be laughed at pretty soon because you're not going to make it. People are starting to think about Bernie instead of Trump. Trump is driving voters to Bernie, like in West Virginia. Bernie took Hillary because people are just, they don't want somebody wacky. So believe it or not, Bernie is getting votes from Trump haters. It's happening. You make that on your 3D printer, yeah. Well, if he said he was patenting the blimp plane on TV, FJJ, it wouldn't matter to me because it can't be patented. Boeing and Lockheed both have ideas. I walked into a Beyond Oil exhibition in 2009 and talked to Boeing about the blimp plane. And they said, well, we haven't really given it much time, but we did think of that for maybe carrying cargo. Well, they then created their own version. No, it's not too late for 2016. What about a write-in candidate do you not understand? Come on, folks, you can do better than this. Don't be idiots. Don't accept the mindless status quo and just go along with the crowd. Get your act together right now. Tell people about me. Tell people about America's Third Party. Promote our link online. Don't don't just sit here and resolve that, oh, well, it's too late now. Look, I've been doing this for 7 years consistently, every day. All of my important ideas are being stolen from me by this corrupt person we just discussed. If you don't recognize the problem with that scenario right there and the censorship that's going on in America against Americans, then you obviously don't understand the future of America. Because this is not going to happen with corruption. The real revolution that's coming isn't going to happen with greedy one percenters like Trump and Clinton. And I'm going to have to add Bernie to that list because he just bought a brand new car. I don't know where he's getting. Well, I guess he is getting the money from his trust fund. But there's the socialist Bernie in his R8. Bernie, could you pick me up? Yeah. Yes, Clinton will expand the use of chemtrails, and all the safeguards against environmental pollution are not being checked by Obama, so Clinton will follow in that same pattern. Clinton and Obama are both big industry. They're both part of the industrial complex. They're corrupt to the core. They're New World Order puppets. And so is Donald Trump. No, the wind doesn't hit these things. The fact is the blimp doesn't have any friction on the outside of it. So Bernie is a guy who's constantly working the idea that the wealthy have all this money, but he never talks about how he's going to get the wealthy to pay the poor people. He never talks about how he's going to implement a strategy to arrest the wealthy people. There's no details with Bernie, just a lot of hype. You know, talk is cheap. And the real measure is in where are the ideas. And we've got nothing but ideas here. I've been an idea machine since we started. In fact, when we started this whole plan in 2005, we were going to create a think tank. That's how many ideas we have. But We decided to build a political movement instead. And I think it's better that we're doing this. Because a think tank, nobody cares about a think tank. All right, so we are now dealing with some bigger problems. You're in a luxury condition right now. You probably got food in your stomach. You probably have about $500 in your bank account. You're like most Americans. 80 or 65% of most Americans are $500 away from going bankrupt or living on the street. So you're in a comfortable position right now with that $500 in your savings account. In a few years, that may not be the case. So we have the luxury of talking about this right now before it gets too weird. But are you doing anything about it? It's up to you. You can use your own conscience to decide that. You can decide whether you want corrupt people in the White House. You can decide how bad the problem is and where your vote's going to go and who you really believe in. You can make all these decisions yourself later. But right now I'm trying to give you some background information. We're screwed! And nobody, not some scumbag nutcase who claims he's a time traveler, is going to fix that. And don't post his name here. Thank you. Well, let's be clear. All Muslims are not to blame and should not be punished for Islamic terrorism. But all gun owners are responsible for every mass shooting and their rights should be restricted. This is the type of doublespeak that's been going on in our country for so long. It's terrible. Our president is talking through both sides of his mouth. Or as the Native American said, black man speak with forked tongue. Oh, I guess it was white man, they said. Well, maybe he is a white man. Maybe he's not a black man after all. A lot of black people feel that way. They don't think they gotten any justice from him at all. It's just us, as in him. All right, so we got a bad president. That's the way it is. Well, let me be clear. Amazon CEO orders a 20-man army to dig up dirt on Trump. Isn't this getting a little bit ridiculous? I mean, they could have done this 6 months ago when Trump did a hostile takeover of the Republican Party. I'll better late than never. I mean, the only solution that I can see from Trump being pushed into the Republican position of nomination is to get a person like me out there on the floor of the convention hall, arousing deep concerns about Trump and his two-facedness, and really digging deep into this Trumpster who's got all kinds of problems. Connections to Studio 54 and gangbang activity. I mean, I'm not kidding. We got stories that'll blow your mind. Yes, we knew that, but it didn't matter, Alan. Obama was completely painted as some sort of a rock star, like the Miles Davis of politics. And all he does is read off a teleprompter. He doesn't understand a damn thing about the government. Barack Obama, when asked in 2010, should the government be responsible for creating jobs, Mr. Obama? And his teleprompter wasn't rolling at the time. Let's be clear. The government is not responsible for creating jobs. Well, for a man who wants to have an FDR-style New Deal improvement in our economy, a man who's bankrupting our nation yet $8 trillion more over 7 years, he doesn't want to create any government jobs? I mean, what a joke. He wasn't even on task to do what he needed to do, which was to inspire growth in the economy. One of the first things they asked Barack Obama when he became president was, how are things going to be with you as president? And his first response was, well, make no mistake about it. Let's be clear. Things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Really? So you started this job not even knowing that the economy was in a complete spin down, 2009? And he goes around saying it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. We have chosen the worst possible president who sat on his hands and read off a teleprompter for 7 years. And you've got this guy, this extremely wealthy, greedy man, taking my ideas blatantly taking my ideas and bragging about it to his friends, knowing full well I've been censored on the internet, on all of the mainstream media networks. And having a history like this, dark tales of molesting beauty queens and raping his ex-wife. And this is the guy running for the most important position of the nation against two people, a bumbling idiot socialist who doesn't have a clue as to how bad off the country is in terms of corruption, Bernie Sanders, and some absolutely power-hungry viper woman named Hillary Clinton, who's in bed with big companies like Monsanto. Bzzz. There won't be any tents in my yard. No. I won't even be here. That's the thing. I'm checking out. Yeah, I've found a secure location, a secret location that I'll be living at, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, I just can't wait to move in there. There's no medication, dude. You're brain dead, and I'm helping you. I don't need medication. No, Sir Waffles, I don't write emails to scumbags who steal ideas. Alan, chemtrails are a side issue. Chemtrails are a side issue. We're so deep in doo-doo right now and crap here on Wasteful Wednesday that we're literally, it's like percolating, bubbling a little bit of information through the huge mass of sewage called our country right now. We're so deep in crap we wouldn't even know where our butthole is. Yeah, I hate to be so graphic, but where do I start? You got a guy running for president, and I'll give you the link, you can check it out, who's literally been hanging out watching gangbangs. And he said, don't be surprised if indiscretion doesn't come up regarding his relationship with Melania. No, it's not a humorous spoof on politics. I've remained cutting edge and interesting and fun and humorous simply because I had to. It's a sink or swim situation. I can't just sit here and go, hi, welcome to America's Third Party. Welcome to the show, everybody. What would you like to talk about? I have to be edgy. I have to be more in your face and get people to, watch us. We would not be able to draw the numbers that we have right now if I wasn't funny. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why we are funny. But at the same time, we are very serious too. David, I think they added to the video. Really? Oh. I don't go there. Rolling Stone, I don't click that link. It's libelous. They libeled me in Rolling Stone. I considered Cruz dishonest from the moment I talked about him. Absolutely. Cruz, are you kidding? When I talked about how his name popped up on Deborah Palfrey's list of known Johns for her house of prostitution, the Washington, D.C. madam, who died, suicided, but she probably got strung up with a cord in her shed by somebody because she knew information about the World Trade Center attack. Oh, you didn't know that? Well, Cruz was on her list of Johns. Yeah, we talked about that. David, do you do between 8 to 5? Do you do? I do. Yes, I do during the 8 to 5 period. There's posters of me in Tokyo because people in Japan understand what I'm doing. You see, let me explain something. Japan is a very homogeneous society, and they openly are accepting of humor regarding blackface. And they found my blackface very interesting in 2008, and again in 2014. And my discussion about the dangers of the Fukushima crisis has been publicized there too, and how we do have a crisis at Fukushima, and I would love to work with Shinzo Abe to control the rapid release of irradiated water into the Pacific Ocean. There are ideas that are not being deployed right now, but among those reasons, that's just part of it. They see a unique person in me, and they like unique. Japan, they like Americana. I'm kind of a living legend, and they like that. They like that about me. I don't have any fear. I don't in any way hold back. I don't filter my words. I'm not customizing this dialogue to meet certain focus groups. I'm just raw and in your face. And that's what makes me interesting, I think. And I think they like that. The fact that right now we're being seen by hundreds of thousands of people all around the world right now. I know, you've been saying that every time you come in here. Yeah. So they like unique. Unique works in Japan. Because in Japan, it's hard to be unique. You know, many people do the same things over and over again every day. And they feel very limited, unfree. And when they see a man using the freedom of the internet on a daily basis with no personal gain involved, no monetary needs whatsoever, they say, wow, we like how you live. I live very humbly. I conform in many ways to the Eastern mentality of richness, which is spiritually rich. The idea of achieving that came to me as a young man when I was exposed to Zen Buddhism. And it wasn't that I didn't believe in God. It's just that I was exploring new ideas and religions at the time. And I think it makes one realize what really matters in life is not based on money, like Donald Trump would like you to think. It's based on the simplicity of how things work. You see, what we've constructed is a concept that would actually survive the test of time and revive our nation's economy over time. And that's hybrid capitalism, a plan that actually boosts our economy, gets our government to run efficiently, and produces a tremendous amount of results in terms of startup enterprises, free enterprises. So we wrote a book about that, and we put this idea out there on paper, and you can download the book for 99 cents on our website. Go to our store. But it's called Hybrid Capitalism. There we go. And it caters to getting the government to run as an efficient machine, no longer relying solely on tax dollars to make it work. Shout out to your illegitimate daughter, Obama Kaisha Geneka Neka. Thank you, Mad Dog. No, I'm not a political Oral Roberts. I'm more of a political anally retentive Roberts. I'm a person who really likes precision and perfection. But unfortunately, we can't sit here and be perfect and precise all the time. She'll be in a little while. She makes an appearance later. And in the process of actually reaching you on a nightly basis and talking about the claims of racism and how Donald Trump cozies up to the mafia, and running my anti-Trump campaign and starting my anti-Hillary campaign very soon too, and I'm still working on my anti-Bernie Sanders campaign, we gather here for other reasons, like how to save money on our bills. Are you guys wasting a lot of money? Are some of you suffering from like credit card debt? I'll bet there is anybody in this chat room free of all debt? No debt at all? Is anybody? You are good. Good. No. I'm 5 months away from being credit free. Small car payment, that's not bad. No, we don't have any yard space. It's taken up by grass. The grass seeds need to grow freely without being stepped on, and tents will destroy grass seed. Okay, so you're debt free, great. Okay, so you owe court, so that's not exactly debt free. Scissor Fight's debt free, cool. So a lot of you have discovered the secret to living happily in a simple way. Well, that's what hybrid capitalism is all about. We're not about the Trump style of borrowing money and getting deeper into debt. He actually claimed recently that he's the king of debt in an interview with Wolf Blitzer of CNN. Trump actually said on record he's the king of debt.
Puerto Rico right now, they are defaulting on $400 million. If you were president of the United States, what would you do to help the people in Puerto Rico?
Well, the problem we have is we have 19 trillion in debt. We have a country that's in such trouble. So we have 19 trillion going up, as you know, to 21 trillion in a very short period of time because of the horrible omnibus budget. And I think really they have to solve the problem.
Should the U.S. bail out Puerto Rico?
No, I don't believe they should. I don't believe they should. And I think, frankly, Puerto Rico is better if they don't. Because they'll cut the bonds, they'll cut them way down. They have far too much debt. I mean, the problem with Puerto Rico, they have far, far too much
They
debt.
can't even use
Don't
the
forget,
bank.
I'm the king of debt. I love debt.
They're preventing.
All right, so basically, Puerto Rico, we could absolve them of their debt if we were to make them a state. But he doesn't have the brains to think of that. But he has the brains to say,
Don't forget, I'm the king of debt. I love debt.
They're preventing.
Don't forget, I'm the king of debt. I love debt.
how in the world could we get out of debt by having a president or a presidential candidate who's the king of debt and he loves debt? How are we ever going to get out of debt with that kind of mentality? Now, what we are trying to talk about is getting ahead of our debt. This is Sarah, by the way.
How do you get ahead of your debt? Don't go into debt
Yeah.
in the first place. How do you not go into debt in the first place? Rethink your economic system. Pretty interesting. I was listening to this story on NPR yesterday about, actually I think it was a couple days ago, but it was about the Bitcoin and specifically the code that they, it's like I forget what it's
An algorithm that they have.
But the algorithm is basically used by everyone to see, well, what transaction was made when, and not necessarily who made the transaction, but basically being able to trace the money. And that's it's a very interesting possibility.
Yeah, well, it'd be great to trace money if we could, but you know the problem with Bitcoin, and it's losing traction. It was gaining traction, but it's an experimental currency, and we have a pretty strong control over the world economy by being the world currency, the U.S. dollar. So if we drift from that, we also lose a certain status. Now, I don't believe, like so many fearmongers out there, that we are heading toward a global economic collapse. We are in a global economic collapse, and we've been maintaining the status that we have by borrowing money. And other countries have been doing it too. The bailouts, all of the austerity plans are not working. And our country hasn't really cut their budget. You know, they haven't laid off hardly any government employees, only 5%. And the private sector has already laid off almost 50% of their employees since 2009. And more so coming. So the government doesn't seem to be able to downsize. You want to get rid of something here?
I'm just looking at something.
Okay.
What Carpet Muncher said, that's what I was writing down.
Okay. The fastest and best way to get out of debt, guess 676 asked, is to live below your means. Now, in 2001, when my parents passed away, Sarah and I took a real look at our budget, and we said, okay, what
David basically cut everything that he's like, unless I absolutely need it,
Yeah.
I'm going to cut it. And actually, even things that I would think we needed, he cut at that time. Internet, for instance.
Yeah, she was upset about the internet. I cut that. We were going to a local, like a public library to check our email for about a year and a half. So it got really troublesome. We didn't have cable at the time, so we waited the right time when
No
cable
cable
came
TV, no internet.
in. Cut the garbage service. I strictly recycle to this day. And I don't go without toilet paper. No, that's a necessity. But cutting back on restaurant trips, we got real creative with our restaurant trips. We actually went to casinos and got matching funds to play, and then used some of that money to buy our dinner. I mean, there was all kinds of ways to save money and still have a nice night out. And we used that technique for many years, and really it benefited us because that helped us get ahead of the ball financially. And once we even do zone heating in the winter.
Hey,
So-
Antique, hi D2 Laura. Hi, Cherry Breeze.
Cherry Breeze is in. Hi, we haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so this information, we have got a record number of taxes coming in. Huge amount. $1.9 trillion in taxes for fiscal year 2016. And then $12,600 per worker, basically, in taxes. And the federal government's still running a deficit of $354 billion. They don't learn. They don't want to cut waste. They just want to keep sucking money out of your taxes.
What would be considered a necessity? Well, I would say food is a necessity.
Yeah, and even then, remember when the prices of food started skyrocketing, and I got even more creative.
We just start cutting back. I don't eat a whole lot, so I do actually eat quite a bit.
Well, not really. I mean, you're probably
not too much.
You're probably the only person I've ever met in my entire life that has a very low consumption rate of food.
Well, and then like this past year, I feel like, well, it's not that I've been eating more. I just haven't been exercising as much as I used to. So.
That's part. Yeah, exercise is key. I gained 10 pounds over the past 2 years, and I didn't realize it until I went to the scale and said, whoa, that's not what I thought I weighed. I went to a digital scale and it was like, wake up call, you know. But I try to avoid GMOs in my diet, and we still shop for discounts. We buy wholesale food items that are non-GMO. So we'll go to a health food store that's got closeout sections. We'll check clearance racks at food stores. This is not just a method to survive. This is a method to succeed.
Well, and I do have to say this. I do love James Madison, Mad Dog. However, he did write that before the 14th Amendment was passed.
Some of you are using toilet paper for coffee filters. I had a manager at one of the radio stations I worked at that used to bring the scented toilet paper and put it in there. He was so cheap. In fact, he always said whenever he walked up to people, "Where's that $5 you owe me?" And it was almost sickening how cheap this guy was. I'm not cheap like that. We go all out and put real coffee filters in our coffee machine. Not toilet paper. Yes, GMOs are killing gut bacteria. A lot of bad things are happening as a result of GMOs. So if you can cut back on GMOs, that's highly advisable. All right, I'm going to step out for a bit, and so you can get to know Sarah, and I'll be back shortly. Yeah, real coffee filters.
Oh, I hate bologna though, Mad Dog. I'd rather eat anything else. Except hot dogs. Vienna sausages I like, but hot dogs and bologna and bubble gum are the three things I hate. Hot dogs, I can maybe eat them as long as they're like black. But yeah, I do not like them. Not really 717. I trust David. I know, that's what I'm saying. That's how much I dislike them, Ellen. Well, 687, it's up to you to work to get whoever you want on the ballot. So I'll say that. You need to work to get who you want on the ballot. Go out and start collecting those signatures. I've done quite a bit of the hard work by figuring out what the laws are. And you can go to americasthirdparty.com and go to our old site, and in 2008 I was really doing a lot of research on ballot access laws. Well, who do you want on the ballot, 787? I'll say that. Jackson, you're on. My goodness. Hey, Mad Dog. How many pounds do I weigh then now? Oh, yeah, 150, something like that. How many stones is that? You guys are going to have to convert it. You thought you were invisible. I'm sorry. You eat dog food, like what kind of dog food? Hopefully not dried dog food. Hopefully it's like in the can and wet. I didn't say David doesn't eat bologna. I don't like it when David eats bologna. David has eaten bologna, but yeah. I don't like the nitrites and the nitrates. I don't like the smell of them. I find that disgusting. I'm not really fond of eggs either. Even though it's funny. I knew someone that they used to work at this huge egg processing facility in Southern California, and I like that person a lot, but I don't like eggs. 14 pounds to a stone. So I'm approximately 10 point. I guess I'm more like 11 stones then. Yeah, I'm glad you got a laugh out of me. I do like bacon. You're 8 stones? Oh my goodness. No, I'm quite a bit more than you then. Like 11 stones. There's nothing. I know. That's why I don't like bologna. I'm sure I went to I'm sure I liked bologna as a kid. And then I went to I don't know if it was a meat processing facility. Yeah, I know I'm out of shape. It was either a meat processing facility or I don't know, maybe it was just a farm. But I remember asking, how do they make bologna? Well, they take up all the egg, or maybe they're just talking about processing meat, but they're like, this is where you get the steak, and this is where you get this, and this is whatever. And, oh, yeah, I can do that for 500. No, not today. It's too hot. But anyway, and then they're like, and then you take all the eyeballs and the tongue and everything else, and you grind it all up, and then that makes your bologna. Yeah, they basically anything that's not processed, that becomes your bologna. Add a few nitrites, and that's your bologna. It's disgusting. I don't eat it. I can't stand the smell of it. Yeah. I'm sorry, Jackson. It's so gross. I'll try to move on. Oh, I know you would love that, 687. Have you had a lot of luck on that? Cherry Breeze, are you on Tinder? Are you on the cell with Leah? Why would you be concerned for me? You don't use it, but Tinder is like a matchmaking site. I don't need to be matched with anyone. I have all of you. And of course I have David. So I already have what I want in life, 687. I mean, who are you to say, I don't? And what if I do know what I know? That's hilarious, Mad Dog. All right. What? FJJ, you're just coming out with that? Well, why don't you get a camera? Hook it up so that it watches you when you're sleeping, and then you can see if anybody does anything when you're sleeping. Okay, I asked, do you use Tinder? Now you just go on blind faith that they do. That's hilarious. Okay. What's a special code? Thank you. 934. Okay. What? No, 933. I don't think so. That's hilarious. I don't know. I was just asking. Oh, to change the subject? Yeah. What should the code be? 687, and I don't have any. The thing is, if you wanted to change the subject, that would be you would all have to put like 3 dots like that because or something because otherwise, it's all going to show up on the screen what you were talking about previously. Awake dating. Oh, I'm totally gonna pull that up, Scissor Fight. I find that hilarious. I will not be on there. I promise you that. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not on Tinder. Ugh. What? Did you put it like a uh did you put what is that? A a dryer sheet on your underwear? Hmm. Probably because of your age. How old are you, 800? Are you like a male in his like teens, late teens to early 20s, mid 20s? If you are, that could explain it. Let's move on. Yeah, well, maybe I'll go do that 450, but when I come back from my break. All right, moving on. Gonna look at the news. You're in your 40s? Well, they say women get their second, like, women start to be very active in their late 30s, early 40s. They start really feeling that way. So if you're a woman, be late 30s, early 40s. If you're a man, it's usually teens to mid 20s. And then I think men maybe get a second wind. So I don't know. Aw, you're so sweet, 687. Well, what did I just say? What can you infer? Wait, why are you actually giving I'm sorry, I gotta click this link and then I gotta clear the chat. Why would you put an address on the internet? Like, oh, my friend just bought this house. Let's go, blah, blah, blah. That's a cool house, I have to say. I like it. But, well, I mean, I care. I don't want your friend to start getting harassed because you posted their address in a website. Yeah, like 410 does. I know. I can't do that, 687. No. There'd be something that happens, so. The FBI Director James Comey has drawn criticism for his remarks about the tactics used by police. On to the news.
Wow. Yeah, the FBI has not done enough to intercede in the police brutality cases around the country. I agree.
Exactly. Yeah.
kind of messed up. You think you get a response when you call the FBI. You don't. They don't call you back. Hi, Mad Dog.
West Texas fertilizer blasts. They say it's a criminal act.
Yeah.
The criminal. Wow. Someone deliberately set the fire that sparked it. Wow.
That's just crazy. No, 410. It's actually, you would get, if you don't have proper postage on it, that's illegal.
Cancer screening is becoming mostly a psychological terror campaign against women to enrich cancer treatment clinics, warns a doctor.
Oh, you know what really kind of irked me?
What?
Guess what? They're coming out with a new pink coin to raise awareness for cancer, breast cancer awareness.
A pink coin? What is it, like a penny or something?
Created by the U.S. Mint.
Oh, really? I did not know. Well, they're constantly pushing this cancer research because it's a moneymaker. They can't solve the problem in 25 years of cancer research. I mean, I find that hard to believe. And when somebody does, they get killed. Like these holistic doctors that claim they have a cure to cancer. They're getting killed left and right. I will put together a 24/7 cancer cure plan. Cancer Cure Team. That's what we want to put together. Something through the National Institute of Health that work 24/7 around the clock to solve the problems with cancer. That would be my goal as president, to get the funding, instead of giving it to Big Pharma for all this in ridiculous research and development funding that we put out every year. We spend 45% of the R&D that goes into drugs like Viagra and Cialis to get men, to retain their erections. It's coming from the U.S. taxpayer. So we should divert that money to a 24/7 cancer cure team. And this is my idea. If Trump takes it, make a note of that. All right? Whew, wow. Every time I put an idea out there, I know it's going to be, hybridized and taken and bastardized. Yes, period. I agree, 5JJ. Or FJJ says cannabinoid oils cure cancer, period. Yeah. Oh, there's a toupee here. I didn't know I was wearing a toupee. I just went outside and the wind blew my hair a little bit. Since when was my hair a toupee? Pink coin cancer research. This is it. This is the thing. You want to read it? Read about it? Sarah's really upset.
I don't want to read about it. I think it's bizarre and
they're creating a commemorative coin for breast cancer awareness. It's very disturbing. I agree. It's called Making Money, the Cancer Industry. Let me show you guys a book. I have it in the library. I'll go get it. Let me show it to you.
There's a lot of this, yeah, David will show you the book. I believe in that book a lot better than all this stuff. So your friend's girlfriend touched him and checked him and noticed something in his testicles and
get him checked out.
And he got checked out and he has testicular cancer. Wow.
Oh wow. He better get on that. They can cure him. Self-checks for lumps are also good for women too, for the breasts, but they're finding a lot of the lumps are not malignant. There's so much unnecessary cancer treatment going on. Many of the lumps women are experiencing are periodic in their breasts, yet they're going out and they're making big deals about, doing checks for malignancy, etc. That's because there's an industry. This is a shocking, disturbing book, The Cancer Industry. Can you guess when this was produced? The classic expose of the cancer establishment. Just guess the date of the production of this book. All close, 1980. We've been talking about this since 1980. 80 is the answer. But the reality is, I think the original came out in 75. Let me see. No, copyright 1980. Yeah, we picked this up in 1996. because my family was concerned because my father had developed cancer, and we were trying to figure out what was it all about. There have been countless cases, even Laetrile. Remember Laetrile? It actually had hopeful promise of curing cancer, building up the enzymes needed for our body to fight, building up our immunity to fight cancer. Laetrile was shunned and completely hated by the established medical community and research community. So, yeah, the thing is, a lot of the cancer clinics are run by doctors who make lots of money on the chemo and the radiation. So there's no real incentive for them to actually cure cancer. They'd rather just drain you dry, take your entire house, all your assets, force you into medical bankruptcy no matter how much insurance you have. Insurance does not prevent you from going into medical bankruptcy, trust me on that. And don't take out a mortgage whenever you get a hospital bill. The word of wisdom, folks, do not take out. Tell everybody what happened to a friend of yours who took out a mortgage when her husband became sick.
Oh yeah, her husband has since passed on, but she decided because of the hospital bills, she was about to pay off her mortgage, and instead she took out a new mortgage, and then ended up defaulting on the mortgage, and then was kicked out of her home, out of that home that she thought she'd live in forever.
Kicked out of the home. They could have stayed at the home throughout his illness had she not taken out a mortgage.
Yeah.
To pay a bill that was unnecessary.
Exactly. If the house is in your name, and she could have paid off the mortgage and just stayed in her home and let them put a lien on it and stay there.
Yep.
And then they can't kick her out, and then if she passed on, then the hospital would own the house. But
so, word of wisdom, when the bills start piling up,
don't take out a mortgage.
Don't take out a mortgage. Let them pile up. Do not take out a mortgage. Do not borrow money to pay those bills. Those bills are so out of whack. I met a guy who went to the doctor for a one-day visit. He went to the ER because he had some chest pain. You know, most guys think, well, I better be on the safe side. It could be heart disease. Went in there, came out the next day after a stay over at night for observation, multiple tests, $15,000 per day. I mean, it's unbelievable. The healthcare industry is the largest, most rapidly growing industry in our country, only because they have us by the short hairs. When we get sick, we absolutely need their help, and they know it. So we've got a really big problem. Yeah, $15,000 for one day in the ER. I'm not kidding. Now, if he had been an illegal alien, it would have been free.
I'm just reading about the idea that these videos, of police officers confronting people going viral, has caused police officers to not confront people.
Good. That's great. Wow.
Well, has possibly led to a spike in violent crime.
Well,
Well, either way, there is a spike in violent crime, particularly in Chicago and also in
Oak Harbor. 2 weeks ago in Oak Harbor, where we're living, in the town of Oak Harbor, Washington.
Las Vegas.
Oh, Las Vegas too. It's people are desperate. In Oak Harbor, Washington, I heard the story through the grapevine. 2 guys went absolutely wild and crazy out in front of a bus stop in front of Walmart and started beating up old people, breaking their arms, curbing their heads. I'm serious. There are people over there in our local community that are taking care of people that have been physically beaten up at bus stops. In our area, in our community. Some guy just went ballistic until the police could shut him down. He didn't use a gun, but he beat everybody around him up.
I was really surprised. I was reading some newspaper report about the police, the things that the emergency calls that police are responding to. Mm-hmm. And there's people claiming to all kinds of things that I wouldn't think would normally happen in my town, because I have a pretty nice community. That's what I usually think of, but there's definitely an increase in homelessness and an increase in people with violent tendencies, I guess, is
More
the
people.
best way to put that.
More people who are in need are going to be more violent. It's a combination of factors.
And in Seattle, they can't seem to close that jungle.
Well, it's a tent city with 24,000 people. And the liberal government in Washington has done absolutely nothing about it in 7 years. We had a newspaper we picked up saying the Democrats, the legislatures in Washington need to make a permanent solution for homelessness.
Yeah.
They've been talking about that for 7 years, a permanent solution for homelessness. When in fact we need to get real automated mobile systems that can help people with basic needs like shower, with water filters and showers and things like that. Washing machine dryers. Remember that picture we saw of it was a washing machine that had a multiple station. It was a demo for, I believe it was Maytag. They had this demo vehicle that had multiple washers and dryers that actually worked on board.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool to have washers and dryers that were mobile. So we have a mobile medical and a mobile service vehicle in mind for America. The mobile medical unit, I'll give you a picture of it right here. We're going to create these units in South Bend, Indiana, and maybe someplace on the West Coast, but there'll be large units that will provide medical care for people around the country in every city. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is one in Minnesota, but very much like this, but if you can imagine mobile washer and dryer units, maybe portable bathrooms that can be drained and dumped, Wi-Fi charging systems and connectivity systems that you can charge cell phones and Wi-Fi equipment, USB-based charger units, all running on solar power, all running on systems that use biofuel as well. The generator will be biofuel. Yes, and in the back you will be able to buy marijuana, because when I release marijuana from the list of controlled substances as President of the United States, it'll be a big, huge boom for our economy and a great chance for us to actually get valuable, naturally growing material available to everybody in the country, no longer just the states that allow it. This will be a quick, fast track to a better country and will help our nation, become more economically self-sufficient. But the idea of selling this stuff at the back of the unit here, we'll have a mobile pharmacy with a generic medicine running on a Pillomatic system that will actually provide you to get any basic prescription that will get you through to another day until you can get to a regular pharmacy. You'll be able to get you a basic small prescription or keep renewing the same one. But the unit will come by every single once every 7 days to your area. All right. Hey, that's not relevant, but thank you.
You're just talking on
Yeah,
your cute cat.
cats, I'm Amber is 13 years old now. I'm really kind of worried about her. They get on in years, and and just keeping an eye on her, making sure she's okay. I noticed a couple little things on her ear, and I don't know if they're bugs or some sort of a growth.
She's had them for a while.
Yeah. But I was hoping she could live to be 38 years old. So
Walk him abnormal.
normally about 15 to 20 if you're lucky.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay.
Dave.
You have a connection between marijuana and violence? Oh. No, that's a CDC report. That's garbage. You might as well throw it in the garbage. Yeah. That's garbage. Nonsense. Anything written by the CDC. There's an organization that I'm going to get rid of, essentially. They cost $7 billion a year, and they don't do anything. All they do is create dangerous vaccines and authorize unnecessary vaccinations on the American population. The CDC we could reduce down to a small task force of 24/7 cancer cure team. I really don't think we need to worry about having 2,000 workers sitting there making over $150,000 a year. Like sitting there in their lab testing, things that they already know they're going to force on the human race.
Thank you, Cookie Lipschitz. It's nice to see you. She said we look so much alike. Hi.
We do. We're not in any way alike. Sarah's got a
Even
different
you.
face than I do. You're saying that you have the same face I have?
Well, sure.
Okay, so in other words, if I were to go like this, and
and then put it on my.
well, you don't have to change your perspective because that just changes things. So we do look alike, yeah.
There you go. I look like you.
Yeah, we do.
Wait, you're not moving.
I'm
okay,
moving,
there
yeah.
we go.
Hi, it's Dave and Dave Sarah. How are you? Dave, Mr. Anderson. Mr.
Why do we
Anderson.
look alike? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think we do, but they say people who look alike get together. It was very creepy. I'm trying to deal with
It was
that.
very creepy, wasn't it?
I'm trying to deal with the creepiness factor. Oh, there you go. Look at this. This reminds me of a story Sarah told me about an elephant tied to.
Elephant, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the chains that prevent us from being free are more mental than physical. Thanks, Scissor Fight.
There's there's this story I told David about these elephants. When the elephants are like babies, they get the hugest, biggest, heaviest chains that they can if they want to tame the elephant. And they put them on the little tiny babies, and the babies can't possibly move with these huge chains. And then then they put, when the baby realizes it can't move, it just stops and moving. And so then they eventually put a lighter chain, and eventually it gets down to a string around the giant elephant's neck.
Right.
And they think they can't move because they feel that string.
And
Talk
many.
about your, the things being more mental than physical.
It is more mental. In fact, some people believe that they live in a real world, that nothing has changed around them. Some people, like Miss Anderson, believe that we're not in the Matrix.
Magnani Mouse? Are you Jackson? Are you what? Magnani Mouse. Okay. Are you Jackson because you couldn't get David's attention as Jackson, so you came as that, or what's that? I know everybody loves you, David.
I was just doing a little Mr. Anderson, Mr. Smith. People say Matrix is so old, nobody even knows what I'm talking about. It's one of the greatest movies ever made, don't you agree? Matrix, 1.
The Matrix 1, 2, 3.
Well, 1. I don't know about 2 or 3.
I like them all.
Poor Sarah has to endure Dave's impressions, yeah. Something I really find anyone denigrating in this show to be
David's awesome.
absolute garbage. If I had a way of somehow lifting you up out of your seat and forcing you to go to the bathroom right now instead of just purging you, I would. But I can't.
You're out on the Pirate Bay doing what?
You've never watched The Matrix?
You've got to go see The Matrix.
I mean, you have got to see at least Matrix 1. Check it
And
out.
2 and 3.
Well, yeah.
Sarah likes them all.
I really like the shows.
You hate movies. Well,
You like this
is
one.
This is more than a movie.
Break out of your box. Do something different.
This is way more than a movie. It's like, it messes with your mind.
Yes, it makes you think that everything's real when it's not, clearly. Yes, so we have a lot to talk about tonight. Government waste, the wasteful world that we live in. I'm not going to take an authoritative approach. I'm more of a soft sell guy, unlike this guy.
Oh, hey Jackson, sorry. I thought you were somebody else who kept coming in here and saying, "Why are you ignoring me? Why are you ignoring me?" And so I thought it was you, Jackson, but I'm glad you decided to take a phone call. You want me to stay, Alora? All right, for you, only for you, I'm staying.
I feel a little
Hoping to
like Neo.
reach someone.
I feel sometimes that I have all the qualities that Neo has when I reject Mr. Smith and his efforts to fight back. Yes, pretty cool. Neo is the one Neo is the one. And I will take you down the rabbit hole. They should never have stopped making that movie. You know, that may have prevented the Wadzinskis from having sex change operations. Every time, you know, you face adversity and convert your tranny gender to be. Do you know that the Wadzinskis, they actually changed their gender, both of them?
Who?
The Wachinskis, the group that wrote and directed The Matrix.
Oh, what were they before? Brothers?
They used to be
Now they're
brothers, now they're
sisters?
sisters. Yeah. Let's see if we can get a story on that. Let me see.
It's all about reality. You messing with your minds.
Yeah, they both had transsexual sex change operations. It's down the rabbit hole.
When I was 17, I dated a. I didn't really date. When I was 18, I dated an 18-year-old.
You did? Wow. For some reason my Google search didn't bring up what I was looking for. Huh.
Oh, thank you.
Well, a lot of people like older people when they first start out in life. What's wrong?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to find their pictures.
I don't think
They're not
that's the way
online.
that you spell their name.
Okay.
So maybe you could start with saying Matrix creators. And then you could get their last name, and then you could go from there.
Matrix creators. The formulative creative force behind the Matrix. Clearly, that is the reason I'm looking for these people. Here they are. The Wachowskis, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And apparently they've both decided to become female.
I'm like Trinity.
Unlike Trinity, who you're so
We just
fond
saw
of.
Trinity in a show the other day.
Yes, they're both experimenting with
She
transgenderism.
was- well, the actress that played Trinity was
Yes.
in a show called Crossing Lines the other day. I mean, yeah.
They are indeed. We are being censored by Vaughn. It's very true. I agree. They've been doing this for some time, but it doesn't stop me because people are being broadcast around the world. Yeah, so they both decided to have a sex change operation. You know, somebody said, Abnormal said that maybe they're doing this with chemtrails. They're making everybody into, you know, some sort of a female version of the men and women into male versions. It's strange,
I wouldn't believe
yeah.
anything that person tells you, 672. I'll just go there.
I-
Don't believe anything that person tells you.
I am a person who believes in God and has a personal relationship with the Lord. Magnana Mouse.
You heard what I said, 672. If you really want David to say it, whatever.
Well, let's be clear. Barack Obama has not joined a church since he left Trinity United Church of Chicago and the Down Low Club. Barack Obama never joined a church. He never showed any sign that he was Christian. With the Lord, thank you. Bless you. No, I'm not a fraud. Never drawn a single penny from this show, ever. We got good ideas for the
You
country.
can go verify our information.
Yeah, everything about us is real.
FEC.gov.
Go to fpc.gov and type in my name and add John to it. David John Sponheim. Jon. Thanks, Ann, but that's nice. Why don't you become a sex therapist too? Ann claims to be a sex teacher. Well, you need to get educated. You're probably doing everything wrong. Yeah. I wouldn't trust it, Ann. Not a woman who dresses up as a man and doesn't know what she's doing half the time. I can play the Tilton video as soon as Friday rolls around. Remember, we're going to wait till Friday on that one? Oh, the helicopters are coming. They're buzzing us right now. We get flyovers all the time, all day long. Hey, your break is over. I'll take over from here. Give me some time, and we'll get back to it. Okay, thank you. Yay, Sarah! Thank you so much. Move my marijuana thing over here, and everything is beautiful after a good hit of marijuana. Some of you are using marijuana as a self-medicine, or they call it self-healing, self-soothing. Americans in prison for marijuana while feds get patents on the drug. So our government is so screwed up. Obama has openly stated that he has smoked marijuana most of his adult life. Nobody heard that in the media. Apparently they only play things that they want people to know about Obama saying. Like when he said the N-word the other day on a podcast about, 3 or 4 months ago? But our hypocrisy in this country continues at a rapid rate. Hypocrisy meaning the government says one thing and does another. Apparently Americans in prison for marijuana are still in jail. The federal government has secretly withheld information regarding the medical benefits of marijuana in an attempt to control the market by waiting for the right time to legalize and eventually sell the drug on their own terms. Now, my plan is to have full legalization, recreational use across the nation. People like Gary Johnson want to profit. He grows marijuana for medical use. He wants to make money on the whole medical marijuana thing. I'm not into the profiteering aspect. I want the entire economy to benefit, not just a couple of cronies like Gary Johnson. While dozens of states have progressed towards marijuana freedom, nearly 700,000 Americans are arrested each year for possession of pot. Look at this. Look at this. Now, for me, this is like unheard of in a state, Washington State, where I live. People are allowed to possess under an ounce. Yeah, it's just amazing. So we are not moving in the right direction under this faux president we've got. Obama, the faux president. Yes, and according to Fox News today, 45% of marijuana sales are edibles. And that's exactly what you'd be able to get out of the back of the mobile medical units. Edibles. Yeah. Claiming that Obama is in any way a cool president, I'm sorry, but he's a square. He's totally uncool. I can't play that right now. I told you they monetized me on this show. If I played Hubak, he might actually make money from his jail cell right now. We're referring to a guy who does a little shtick, and he's serving time right now. He may have internet access. He may try to monetize it. I love this little thing that he does, but it's funny. It's just kind of a... Well, you'd have to see it to believe it. To understand it, you have to actually take a look at it. And I really don't think I want to play it right now. Fluoridation is really first been introduced at the 1950s in this movie.
Mandrake, have you never wondered why I drink only distilled water or rainwater and only pure grain alcohol?
Well, it did occur to me, Jack, yes.
Have you ever heard of a thing called fluoridation? Fluoridation of water?
Yes, I have heard of that, Jack, yes.
Well, do you know what it is?
No. It is now.
Do you realize that fluoridation is the most monstrously conceived and dangerous communist plot we have ever had to face?
Well, that was our first reveal. A guy who appears to be psychotic in Dr. Strangelove talks about the dangers of fluoridation. So what you just saw right there was kind of like reverse psychology. Remember I was talking earlier about controlled opposition in our pre-show? Well, the government creates these media events where they create the alternative view, and then they make it seem crazy. Case in point, one Alex Jones. Whether he is indeed Alex Jones or some impersonator, He's clearly a person who's designed to make everything seem wacky, even the truth. You never see a write-in candidacy on your state ballot unless you go out of your way to do it. I'm asking you to write my name in. In the area, it's called a blank line at the bottom. One said Alex Jones, formerly known as Bill Hicks, a comedian who was bought out and paid for by a very powerful military-industrial complex. He's designed to make everything seem wacky. So when he talks about things, when I broke the story that I believe that Osama bin Laden was not really Osama bin Laden, the guy that they found May 1st and killed 2011, he ran the same story, but he did it in a way that was just ridiculous. He basically paints everything out to be larger than life, and nobody believes him. Folks, the post office is just draining money out of its coffers. Talk about government waste. On average, the post office loses $7 billion a year. But now, in just 3 months, they've hit a record. They lost $2 billion in the past 3 months. Now, I paid $55 to send a package from Seattle to Alabama that was about this big. And it was 12 pounds. $55. Yet junk mail providers give you garbage in the mail for pennies on the dollar. This is an entire operation, a quasi-government agency that is running really, really over the top. Controllable earnings from operations jumped 84% to $576 million. But a fiscal quarter loss, second quarter loss of $2 billion, primarily due to costs that said were out of its control. We need to get oversight over the USPS. I would even consider shutting it down for a short period of time. And we could just send all first-class mail through UPS or any number of carriers. Magnanimous, you're going to be removed from the show. So either you clean up your act real quick or you're out of here, buddy. Yeah. We're gonna purge what you said because it's irrelevant to what we're talking about. This is not a religious show, man. And you can't derive religion out of this political show, okay? Yeah, I got to tell you, George Washington 1, I'm the guy who came up with the 1,000-mile fence. So yeah, and don't run around talking about my competitor out there who steals my ideas, okay? Thank you. Well, then fill in the bubble. What state are you in, 908? Because you're talking about the primary. We haven't had the general ballot. All the general ballots except for I believe Oklahoma, will have a write-in category at the bottom of every primary ballot usually doesn't. So if you're wondering where to put my name in right now in the primary ballot, just don't even fill out the primary ballot. It's just a two-party rigged election. It is in the general election. General election has a write-in area for a write-in candidate. They all do except for Oklahoma. Well, reality is, I don't talk about religion here. Well, your fate is pretty much ready to be banned. I'm going to give you that last chance to shut your mouth and talk politics, or you will be banned, Magnanimous. No, my name is easy to remember if you think of Anaheim, California, where Disneyland is. You didn't have a problem remembering Obama or Barack. Hey, if you really want to stop the two-party control over the future and how it's going to stick you in a FEMA camp, yeah, I would say you should really, consider writing my name in. But if you want to be put in a FEMA camp in the next 5 to 10 years and executed, then by all means, vote two-party. You can't vote for me in Oklahoma, I'm sorry. 908. Yeah, they made it so they don't take write-in candidates. I'm sorry, but you'll have to just choose between Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Oklahoma's pretty backward in that way. I mean, I don't really have a big love of Oklahoma simply because of this problem. No, there won't be any canoeing at FEMA camps, Camp FEMA. It depends. If Hillary has the ownership of the presidency, because it's not an election process, it's a selection process. If Hillary buys the White House, and she has more money than Trump, believe it or not. Hillary has $2.3 billion to become president. Trump only has allocated $1 billion because he's kind of running out of liquid assets, to put it mildly. But Hillary will make it different. This is an example of what Hillary wants for adult camps.
As I have gotten older, I have decided we really need camps for adults. And we need the kind of camps that you all run. I mean, really, where, none of the serious stuff, none of the, life challenge stuff, more fun. I think we have a huge fun deficit in America.
Okay.
And we need to figure out how
to grow a brain cell. So yeah, she's going to have more, it'll be more fun, more like Orgy Island, where Bill Clinton spends a lot of time. I never had any relations with anybody ever in my entire life, ever. Except at Orgy Island. Hey, well, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your future resting ground where you'll be executed. What would you like to have in your death center if you have Hillary or Donald as president? Get your head out of your ass and learn how to spell 931, or just get the hell out of the room. Thank you. I've never been to Orgy Island. How would you like your final resting place when they send you off and cuff you unnecessarily? How would you like it to be? Would you like it to have pink curtains? Give me a kind of a feel for what you would like, just so I'll pass that on to Hillary or Donald when they send you there. Well, obviously you've been trained to believe you're suicidal. Yeah, many of you are watching so much television you think death is like really cool. Oh. Yeah, it seems like you're suicidal. You're trained to want to like walk off a cliff like a lemming. Apparently you don't have any particularities, so you don't mind being strapped into chains and shackles and sent to the extinguishing sector. Yeah, just give me an idea of how pleasant you want the FEMA adult camp to be. Hypothetically, Hillary would like to know.
As I have gotten older, I have decided we really need camps for adults. 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 Really.
Kind of redundant there, yeah. Well, she hasn't even been prosecuted. FBI has 22 cases of top secret emails being passed through her private servers, and they haven't even prosecuted her. So she's not likely to going to get prosecuted. She's a political whale. She and Bill have so much power and clout in government and know so much dirt on all the other politicians that you couldn't even get close to her with a 10-foot stun gun. It used to be 10-foot pole, now it's 10-foot stun gun. Okay, this is the end of the police chase that started in Massachusetts and ended in Nashua, New Hampshire. Let's take a look. This is a waste of resources. And it's dangerous for cops to go after cars. They could really, really hurt people. He's going to get out of the car. Oh, was I speeding there, buddy? He's going to lay down on the ground. Well, he's following procedure. And now they're beating him up. Look at this. Oh my God. Look at this. They're beating him up. Wow. They're just kicking him and bruising him and bashing his ribs in. And they want to make sure he's hurting. That's the kind of police farce you have. Unbelievable brutality right there. Wow. Thank you for showing me that. We're going to have to remove that statement as well. No, I would never vote for Hillary. That's like voting for Satan. And if you're going to ask me, would you vote for Donald? No, that's like voting for Lucifer. Well, you got a choice this election. You got Satan versus Lucifer. Which do you want? Or Bernie, who likes to drive $175,000 cars and take your money. It's about the rich people. The rich people are the problem. But I sure like my $175,000 sports car. Magnanimous, that's it for you. You're out of here. Nice try there, buddy. You know, not a lot of people can, come into a show and get kicked and banned within a few minutes. That guy's probably COINTELPRO. He was probably hired by one of the talent scouts out there. I don't know if it's the Jill Greenberg agency or the lady that put together all the Sandy Hook victim list of all the children. He's probably working for Jill Greenberg. Jill Greenberg was tasked to produce pictures of all the children of Sandy Hook, and she was able to do that. Yeah. No, I'll tell you. If you really believe Sandy Hook is a real event, you're nuts. There is absolutely no evidence whatsoever that Sandy Hook even happened. The redacted information that the government gave, the state of Connecticut, has absolutely no evidence whatsoever of blood, except for a couple drops, looks like a paint drops outside of the car. And I must tell you, there was no footage whatsoever of an evacuation of the school. And then to make matters worse, they completely mowed down the school. And who is Adam Lanza, really? His story, it goes back 5 years before. The FBI was looking into him literally as a hacker. Adam Lanza was a hacker who got tagged by the FBI 4 years before they even named him in this case. They had him on their radar, so he was already being manipulated. Doesn't really matter whether you believe it or not. There was no proof of bodies, and to this day you still can't interview any of the parents of the alleged victims. So if you really believe a lot of these stories, false flags that have come up, manufactured in the media, all they are crisis actors that are doing work constantly. Daily, there's a crisis event going on through Department of Homeland Security. At the day that Sandy Hook occurred, it was a crisis action was going on in Bridgeport, Connecticut, 20 miles south of Sandy Hook, in Newtown, Connecticut. So they just moved 20 miles north with their live action, and then they went live with it. They do that on occasion. I'm not in any way crazy. There's enough people right now to believe that Sandy Hook was a false flag to gather enough momentum for a third party. I can pull 34% of the vote on that alone. The amazing thing is Americans are waking up to the lies that are promulgated by the mainstream media. No evidence whatsoever to verify any of this is happening. To this day, you cannot pull records of anybody who died in Connecticut. They've made it illegal to pull autopsy results from deaths and homicides. And ironically, there were no deaths in Newtown, Connecticut in 2012. The FBI's records showed no homicides. So there's a lot of reasons to look into that story deeper. If you just buy the mainstream media line that, it was a terrible event and kids died and oh no, you've been lied to. Crisis actors earn over $150 a day. If you can become one of the top crisis actors and they set up a GoFundMe page for you, like this Mitz guy in the shooting that happened down in Oregon, he got $1 million. It's bizarre. The Umpqua College shooting, Mintz was his name. He claimed he was shot 7 times. He doesn't have a single bullet wound on his body. Yet he got $1 million in money. Most of the people in Sandy Hook got a lot of money, and they still do to this day. Okay, we're going to mute you and purge everything you're saying. You're next on the list, George Washington, to be banned from the show. And anyone who believes that Hillary isn't racist, boy, have I got a video to show you. Wow. Boy, you people are really, a lot of you don't have any clue as to the inner machinations of corruption in your own party. you got to be out to lunch if you think these people who are just in the 1% sucking money left and right are not on the take. Listen to this one.
I just have to say, thanks for the endorsement, Bill. Took you long enough.
Oh, snap!
Sorry, Hillary. I was running on CP time.
That's not. I don't like jokes like that, Bill. That's not funny.
Cautious politician time.
Yeah. Okay. So it's okay to make jokes about colored people if you're a Democrat. But if you're not a Democrat and you do a blackface video, they call you a racist. Let me tell you something about the Democrats. They weren't they weren't the group that passed the Civil Rights Act. They actually fought against it. A lot of Southern Democrats didn't want the Civil Rights Act to pass. The Republicans passed the Civil Rights Act. Yeah. Okay, so How I See It's back up again? Or is this one of the old videos?
Well, the glass is half full.
Oh, good. So he's got new people coming? So they knocked him off, but he's back up and running. He's an expert on the Sandy Hook event. Thank you, Sister Fight. I'll play that later tonight. Hey, stop talking negatively about Jackson, okay? Thanks, appreciate it. We try to protect our supporters here, and if you want to come in here and rag on everybody, then you're going to be on the rag. Okay, we're going to go to guest off for a while, so some of you can cool off and take a shower. You're a little too frisky there. You might want to just have your special moment for the day and then come back in the show when you have your brain left. Right now, your little brain is functioning. You need to get that out of here. I know, man. It's just like they're picking on all my supporters because they know they can't touch me. I'm troll-proof. I've developed an incredibly thick veneer designed to protect the inner perfection within me, my virtue. And these people that keep coming at me claiming, oh, you'll never do this, you'll never do that, they have no idea what they're dealing with. I've never failed at anything I set my mind to in my entire life. Now, when I put something together, it's not for a few months and hope for a quick profit. I've done this for no profit for 7 years, strictly on principle. I don't derive anything other than pleasure from coming into the show. No matter how hateful people are, I still derive good feelings from everybody, even the bad guys. Because I know deep down they were beaten by their mother. Yeah. And they really can't go back and pull her back up and say, hey, why did you beat me? So they're pissed off. They were raised improperly by bad parents. That's why there's so many people that are so hateful. Plus, they're being desensitized by our society, turned into brain-dead waste cases. So speaking of Wasteful Wednesday, some of the people we're going to be treating will be coming here, coming out of the detox from lack of Doritos or Slurpees. And they won't know what to do. Their bodies will be ridden with diabetes. They'll have cancerous tumors in their mouth from doing too many e-cigarettes. And we'll have to treat them, because the big hospitals are just ripping people off left and right. You get sick right now, I'm not kidding. If you're a tax-paying U.S. citizen, 15 grand per day. But you don't care. You're living for the moment. You figured, I'm just going to go ahead and consume 500 tokes of e-cigarettes today, watermelon flavor, not realizing your whole face is going to inflame into a massive boil and then a tumor. I say everything in moderation, including sex. So I don't really urge you to overdo your little thing tonight. Take it easy. It might fall off. Yeah, I'm sure people are drinking Slurpees and vodka right now. I wouldn't doubt it. So many people are becoming alcoholics. Everywhere I go in Washington State now, they've got alcohol pushed on the population. This little Soviet state of Washington, They just want to get everybody drunk so they could be good little comrades. And just like the Russians who drink their vodka every day. There's so many alcoholics in Russia, it's ridiculous. No sin taxes for me. I don't believe in sin taxes. I don't believe in punishing people for free will. If you want to drink, drink. If you want to smoke legally, move to a state where you can smoke legally. I don't want the government interfering with your life, your personal freedom. Individuality is everything in this country. Everything. Our government doesn't know that. George Washington, we're not dealing with lame duck presidents. I'm a person who's going to lead, not stand there and read off a teleprompter. So you're referring to lame duck presidents like Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Just, they're basic puppets. Big difference. But you get a guy like Andrew Jackson, that's not a person you could push around. He had, 14 different duels with men, and he killed every one of them? Well, many of you are already addicted to booze. I can't help you with that. I don't know what to say. You probably reach for a six-pack every night when you come home from work. You're going down a long road, and I don't know if it'll be bad. I can't tell you. I know a guy who's been drinking a six-pack a day for 40 years, and he's still ticking. But you get to the hard stuff, you're gone in about 15 to 17 years. I knew a guy who was drinking Johnny Walker with mixers every day for 17 years. Total liver cirrhosis, Hep B. He died within a few months of me meeting him. And he didn't at all look like David Bowie. David Bowie looked pretty good when he died of liver cancer. How many people can die of liver cancer looking that good? Like right, yeah. David Bowie. Oh, let's look at the comparison between Trump and Hitler. You want it? This is always fun. Let me waste some of your time tonight. Tomorrow will be our next cooking show. 12 meals for under $5. Okay, Adolf Hitler used racism to rise to power. Trump is using racism against Muslims to rise to power. Adolf Hitler proposed mass deportations. Donald Trump proposes mass deportations. Adolf Hitler promised to make Germany great again. Donald Trump promises to make America great again. I didn't know America wasn't great until he started popping up. Adolf Hitler was an anti-Jew fascist. Donald Trump is an anti-Muslim fascist. Adolf Hitler blamed Jews for Germany's problems. Donald Trump blames immigrants for Americans' problems. And then, of course, both want IDing. That is pretty weird, isn't it? And when I tell you that Donald Trump spent his time with Ivana Trump reading Adolf Hitler's speeches at bedtime, it gets even weirder, doesn't it? Yeah. So we've got a real dictator type person with Donald Trump. And the Republican Party, I don't think, is strong enough to purge him. If Paul Ryan were to call me tonight or tomorrow on the phone, I'd certainly consider, crashing the Republican convention with a speaking episode, as long as I had ample security. And I would change the dimension of the Republican Party in a day. And it would be more of a centrist party. But I've never seen myself as a Republican until I saw the dark side of the Democrats and how they suck up to corporate money every day of the year. They're more into money than any other political party I've ever seen, the Democrats. Republicans just think big business is going to solve everything. I don't necessarily agree with that. But anyway, I've seen some pretty shady actions done by the Democrats. I've got a video here of Massa, a congressman who is running for an office on the East Coast, encountering Rahm Emanuel face to face. Ozzy's great. You like Ozzy Osbourne, really? I can't see anybody liking that guy. Well, unless you like really bad, like denigrating white humor, you know, like dirt poor white humor. Maybe that's something you enjoy. Here's an interview with Massa and Robert.
It's not about whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. This election is because we are all Americans.
If you have what we need, the implication is that people who are not veterans in Congress don't have what we need, and that. Can I grab Eric for 1 second? Do you mind?
Excuse me.
Listen to this.
You got to raise $200,000 per month for the next 4 months.
I know.
Okay. No, there's no. Otherwise, it ain't gonna happen. $100,000 per month for the next 4 months.
I know.
You got to raise $200,000 per month for the next 4 months.
I know.
Okay. No, there's no. Otherwise, it ain't gonna happen.
All right. See how money grubbing they are? See how they literally are living on this $200,000 per month for 4 months just to get support from the Democratic Party. Can you believe that? You realize I wouldn't last 1 second because I can't even attract a donation on my website. They're so into money that they can't even imagine anybody ever having a grassroots campaign. Yeah. There's no household wig. No. I know I need 60 million votes. I don't need your money. I need you to contact 60 million voters and convince them that I'm the guy for the future of America. The only notoriety I've received is worldwide. I'm still relatively unknown in America. I am doing everything I can humanly possible to break through this without any funding. If I got in the streets, I'd be terminated within a day. I'm doing this because it's the only way it can be done. If I were to go out in speaking rallies, I'd have my head blown off. But in the comfort and privacy of my own highly secure compound, I'm safe. I can do a broadcast every night. I can keep this up. But once I go outside, I would have to put on my Terminator armor. I'd have to have my helmet installed. It would be ugly. And it would be very hot. Yeah. Yeah. You have a Terminator. So many of you are really kind of gung-ho for some change in America. Many of you want to, stand up for your rights and get in your wheelchair and drive, get your Gatling gun out there. And a lot of people are going to vote for somebody, I guess. But many people don't trust a guy who's willing to side with AIPAC, like Donald Trump. They just don't trust somebody who's willing to just bend over and grab his ankles and grease up and saying, "Do me!" and asking Israel to support him. I mean, how rich is he, really? If he's that rich, why is he asking for so many Israeli support? And why would we want Israel to run our country? Does anyone know that? Thank you, Jackson, but I'm afraid I can't travel. I thought I was going to travel, but I'm afraid I'm not capable of traveling. Hey, Bubba LaDouche. Yeah, I can't really travel because it's just too dang dangerous out there. I'm much safer here in my highly secure compound. But we can talk. Let's talk right now. Interactive. We were waiting for the co-host feature to start on this network, this pathetic network we're on. And we never saw it because I finally figured out they don't know how to code. Thank you, Jackson, but that's not good enough. Yeah, this online experience is the closest you'll get to me because of the nature of what I'm doing. It's just too dang dangerous for me to make contact with anybody anymore. There was a time when we visited people like Awesome Carl. Hey, it's me, Awesome Carl. We saw him, and we saw Car Guy down in Van Nuys, California. That was a great meetup at Denny's. We saw Mr. Bumpus in Cleveland. We saw this ex-Marine guy in Chicago. I won't tell you his name because it's pathetic. He's pathetic. And we saw this horrible, deformed person who just, we couldn't make any hide nor hair of him out in Connecticut. And that turned into a disaster. So we can't really meet everybody. Awesome Carl is the tip of the best guys that we met. Yeah, he's gone on to improve his life. He was falsely labeled as having mental difficulties as a child, but he's going on to become a nurse. He's studying to become a nursing assistant right now. All right. So how many of you would like to work at the mobile medical unit making $25 an hour? Anybody? Because you can make more money in some hospitals than you will as an EMT. Yeah. You won't work for that, Rodney? Okay. Well, since you came in right on the heels of being banned before, I'm going to ban you again. That's by the way, the same guy who came in earlier as... Yeah, we had to ban him for that. He's the same guy. He just came in under a new name. Certainly, if he went through the training program, it's going to take 6 months to become an EMT. It's not that hard. You check people's pulses, stick a little oxygenator on their finger while they wait outside the mobile medical unit. Each mobile medical unit will have these really cool tent setups. Let me draw you a picture. Like that. And then we'll have some seating in here for everybody. A couple of rows of seating, you know. And then we'll have the possibility that, you know, we'll have a number taker right here. You take your number and sit down. We'll even give you an LED TV to watch on the side of the mobile medical unit while you wait. It won't be like Days of Our Lives. It'll be like writhing in pain, watching something fun and pleasant. But back here, of course, we'll have the mobile medical unit marijuana dispensary, which I think is highly advisable. We need to get these things to run with a return on investment. So selling edibles and some small amounts of marijuana, 1 gram, 2 gram samples, we can certainly offer that. It'll help bring money back. Well, thank you for giving me the time to talk, because I'm just here, you know, to fill the blank space between your ears. So far, we've had a lot of fun. We learned about how Trump is like Hitler. We learned that Adam and Ryan Lanza were probably, we don't even know what to think about that. We listened to Hillary talk about how she wants to put us in adult camps.
Adults really need camps for adults. Really need camps for adults.
Yeah. So lots of things we can learn tonight. Wasteful Wednesday used to be about solving the problems of government waste. But since most of you are wasted right now, there's no point in talking numbers, you know. It's like, are you going to turn down a $6 beer at a bar because you want a drink? No, you're going to pull $6 out of your pocket and pay $6 for a bottle of beer. Right? Am I right? Yeah, well, we can definitely put the ultra-liberals someplace. Clinton cash. Oh, yeah. Lots of money in the Clinton campaign.
Greetings from Washington. I want to thank all of you for your work to root out corruption that weakens economic development, feeds black markets and organized crime, and undermines the promise of democracy.
I believe in the oldest adage in American politics, which is follow the money.
A new report today claims that the Clinton Foundation gives about 10% of its money that it raises to actual charities.
Enormous amounts of money have flowed to the Clintons from foreign governments, foreign financiers, and businesses.
So true. Wow. That's pretty good. We'll add that to our lineup, the Clinton trailer. They probably try to monetize that link if I play more than 23 seconds of it. Well, we've got a Wasteful Wednesday talks about government waste and radioactive waste that's oozing into your body and causing you to get tumors. What waste do you want to talk about? How you're wasted right now just to deal with life? How you yourself are wasting money left and right, buying beers at ridiculously expensive bars? Where do you want to start? I did not know that, Leather Jacket. Thank you. Tell the Clinton family that's a no-no. You don't want to be doing that. And Alien Sky, calling Aditi Laura names is not going to help you grow status in this show. Don't you want to improve your status here? Do you just want to come in and get banned every time I ban you? You come in here and all these names attacking people. David, how do you draw on the screen? Well, I try to pull a lot of things from my little bag of tricks. This program called XSplit, thank you. This program called XSplit has a really nice feature. You can download a free copy of it. You can draw all kinds of fun things. Somebody said I should wear a goatee. It would make me more electable. You think a guy looking like this would make me be more like Colonel Sanders, I think. Or you can draw a happy face. See, South America and Africa are both happy. No, I'm using a stylus and a touch screen. Oh, you have to have a touch screen. I have a 23-inch touch screen and a stylus. And I can draw on the screen right in front of me. It's pretty cool. Well, I think we got the plan here to create renewable energy savings bonds. We also need to add to this our infrastructure bank, offering loans of 2% to U.S. businesses, hiring U.S. citizens. Trump does not have either one of these ideas yet. See, he's only taken 8 of my ideas. I've got about 35. So so far I'm doing okay. $2% loans will trigger new growth and help small businesses get started too. 2% loans only to U.S. businesses, hiring U.S. citizens. Yeah, this will trigger a lot of growth. Yeah, Bernie Sanders should play Colonel Sanders in the upcoming KFC. In fact, we've got a program set up for the kind of return to KFC with Hillary and Bernie at the helm. There's definitely a lot of people talking about the possibility that now that's just sassy. There you go again. I'm surprised. I really am. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a series of image libraries that rotate. Because for some reason, I keep looking for answers and I get this. Putting my trust in the future of our country in a woman like that makes me think that there's something seriously wrong with our nation. But then I have this greedy, weird aspect of the Trump campaign that's just getting more and more disturbing every day that he opens his mouth. We got that to deal with. I think 2016 is turning out to be one heck of a bizarre year of nonsense. What do you have there? Oh, good. Okay, thanks. Yeah, we've seen that same thing coming out of Hollywood before. Thanks, Ann. That's a typical Hollywood maneuver. You'll notice that Hollywood just comes in whenever all his other fake names don't come in. Okay, any other questions? Boy, I can't get over all the chatters tonight, and we don't have one guest chat activated. I'm assuming it did work. Okay, let's do guest on and see what you guys have to say. Many of you around the world wanting to get into this conversation that I'm having with myself. Feel free to interject anything you want and break the train of thought going on inside my head. Our campaign is not based on nothing. In fact, I'm the only guy who's actually against GMOs out there running. I'd like to say I'm the only guy against chemtrails, but Ron Johnson wants to run for president too, so he's against chemtrails. But our official position is stop wars, stop the New World Order, stop GMOs, chemtrails, fluoride in our water system. And stop forced vaccinations. You know, with Donald, you don't really get a solid answer, and you can't really rely on a president who can't answer a question straight. Like when he said he was going to punish women who've had abortions, and he was like shocked that people didn't want women to be punished, and he changed his position. My competition is heating up because I've got a better idea than any of them. You see, I'm a moderate centrist, and none of those two candidates even remotely qualify. Moderate centrists can beat a hard right-winger like Trump or a left-winger like Hillary. You see, I've got all it takes to win this election. I just need 1 second of media time. And you can see now why they've suppressed me for 7 years and censored our show. But thanks to the international traffic that's being driven to our show because of the kind of things we talk about, like Donald Trump being in Jeffrey Epstein, Orgy Island's secret black book. What gets me is, I was asking myself, why doesn't Hillary talk about this? And it occurred to me that, well, just because Donald Trump was in the black book of Jeffrey Epstein, a known pedophile who has Orgy Island, Hillary doesn't want to raise a stink because she knows her husband's been to Orgy Island, or at least according to an underage prostitute who said she saw Bill Clinton on Orgy Island. So she can't bring up this huge holy grail of indicting statements about Trump. She can't even go there. So she's afraid to talk about all this stuff because it names Bill. So it kind of makes her campaign not run at full value. I really believe both of them really could go down with this Jeffrey Epstein reality check. No, the campaign will go on forever. I'm not stopping at all. Here I am forced now to play my song and get up off my chair and move my lard ass. Yeah. I feel like I'm sitting like a toad for the past 3 hours I've been sitting here. I gotta get up and move. Well, let's be clear. We can't stop, and we won't stop.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, vote for David Sondheim. America's Good Party.
For president. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, 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 and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim, America's Third Party.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, great. Cool. I think we have everything under control here. Good. We got rid of the bad seeds. Now, if you want to say nice things about the show and recognize that you're going to get a real lard ass sitting there doing nothing, and if you have your future hopes in the country on Hillary Clinton, or if you somehow believe that the Trumpster is going to help you solve America's problems, then by all means, go ahead and vote for corruption. Go ahead and vote for mindlessness. You know, all I can say is you don't have anything. You've been screwed over royally. As voters, Americans have been dispossessed. I'm not out of breath, no. But you will be after I kick your ass. Yeah. You know, normally at my kata, I don't do publicly. But I was consulting my secret sensei the other day, and he said, David, you must go out and show people your power and your talent. And so I mix a little martial arts in with my dancing, and I get all kinds of people saying negative things about my show. You know, nobody wants to face the reality that these are potential deadly weapons, your arms. You got to be careful. Speaking of Hillary, Ninja Heart has some information. Friends in high places, Hillary Clinton has received nearly $75,000 in DOJ political contribution. She's not allowed to get DOJ political contributions. If anyone believes that charges will be filed against Hillary Clinton as a result of the FBI investigation, don't forget the fact that just like the Federal Reserve, the Department of Justice is also a politically motivated organization. Clinton has received $75,000 in political contributions, from individuals who listed the DOJ as their employer. Wow. So she's not going to get any justice. It seems like a form of bribe, yeah. Well, this is the thing, you know, when you're trained in martial arts and you use those martial arts as a form of exercise, there's no way you're going to actually shed those unwanted pounds unless you actually exert yourself. So you actually have to press the envelope. My dancing has gotten to be not enough exercise for me. Yeah, I mean, to get up off the chair and do a little shtick is the least I can do to maintain my physical stamina. I did not know that Prince's doctor has disappeared. This is a news information piece that I should just check on right now. Thank you for checking that. Your shoulders are smaller? What do you mean? Shall I show you my shoulders? Let's take a look. Is this better? I'm built like a brick crap house, buddy. You don't walk around at 6'4" and over 230, I'll say that, if you're not prepared for the worst. I work out all the time. Hand-to-hand combat, hand-to-body contact. Sometimes I like to touch myself. Looks like you're still sweating and seating for many hours, yeah. Looks like you're still seating for many hours. What the hell are you saying? Are you from another country using Google Translate? Let's see. What should I show you? I am a cybernetic organism. Human flesh over metal exoskeleton. What would you like to see? Would you like to see me pull the component bar off of my shoulder and reveal my inner machination? David, your head in proportion to your body is too small. I disagree. Mike Schillenberg is missing. Yeah. Detective returns to Paisley as focus turns to Prince's doctors. Prince's doctor, under fire mysteriously, left practice. Prince, by the way, did not have a will. Calling me a boxer it's like calling Jesse Ventura a surfer. I mean, he surfs, but he's not really a surfer. The shoulder looks from your neck to end of your shoulders. It's too short. Yeah, I've been told that my body is a little bit larger than the average human. Yeah. But I have had lots of good times with Mildred, the mother of my godchild. Doctor under fire mysteriously left practice days ago. Ooh. I have no neck? What are you talking about? I got a long neck, man. Okay, let's take a look. A goodbye. He didn't even have a will. No one knows why he was found slumped over in an elevator. We're still waiting on toxicology reports, which should have been done by now. I don't do performance-enhancing drugs. Yeah, you're sick if you do. David, you crack me up. Do black people now. I don't do black people. The death of Prince is very serious. The doctor who law enforcement is targeting in Prince's investigation abruptly left the facility where he practiced, and no one will say why. Dr. Michael Schillenberg was at Paisley Park when Prince died, and as we reported, authorities obtained a search warrant to seize the doctor's medical records and more specifically prescriptions he wrote for the singer. As we previously reported, Dr. Schillenberg saw Prince on April 7th and April 20th, the day before Prince died. He also wrote prescriptions for Prince that were to be filled out at Walgreens. Imagine going to Walgreens and seeing Prince there in a stupor going, I really need this. I mean, how many people even... He apparently was known very well in his community in Minnesota. Well, he's missing. Let's take a look and see what Dr. Schillenberg has to say. He looks like one of these C- graduates from lesser medical schools.
What I really needed was, how does the healthcare system work behind the scenes? Because I'm on stage, and I really need to know what happens behind the stage to be a more effective player in improving care delivery.
What kind of
there
a
are a
doctor,
number of physicians.
What kind of a doctor doesn't fix his teeth? He does look like something very weird. I mean, he's kind of the Caucasian version of Dr. Murray, the guy that killed Michael Jackson. There's something not right with this guy, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And why can't a doctor fix his smile? You know that this cost me $600 to look like this? Yeah. Because normally I take my teeth out and I go, it's better this way. I do with black people? No, I don't. I'm not a black person. That's cool. We are Americans. America's third party. The almost star cast. Somebody said I look like, D.T. Laura did this. She said I look like this guy, David Caruso, and Sarah looks like this woman. But I don't know. We don't want to hear about a guy who has to live inside of a bag to get off. Yeah. It's not really that important for us to look at have you heard about the plastic bag face guy? He did not last long. He didn't make it. He ended up suffocating. Well, let's be clear. Well, it's not really an issue of how's it hanging. It's a question of when are you going to give up your two-party allegiance? How long are you people going to cling to the Democratic Republican Party before you finally say, you know, David makes more sense than they do? My Niles from Frasier? Do I look like Niles from Frasier? What a joke. That's just wrong, I'm telling you. I don't even remotely look like that homosexual man. I mean, my eyes are different. My nose is different. My mouth is different. My chin is different. Your vision is impaired. I don't have a man crush because I'm not gay. Are some of you turning gay? I mean, do you feel like you're watching more gay porn than ever before? Well, it could be you're suffering from what is called a contamination issue due to a certain product in your diet. There are more pheromones in our diet than ever before, and geneticists are developing GMO food to make all the men sterile. So if you're wondering why you secretly go in the back room and, you know, watch gay porn at night, some of you guys, it's because you're probably being turned gay by the food you're eating. I don't know which foods, but I can tell you it's an epidemic proportion of lowering of the testosterone and the push toward pheromones. Female pheromones for our population. We finally found Trump's long-lost brother, and he may run instead of Trump. We're not sure. His name is Ronald Klump, and he's gone through some facial reconstructive surgeries before, but he's hoping to look more like his brother every day. Oh man. That would be the most hellacious reality check if I had to actually look at my brother. Getting it on almost every night. Yeah. I give Sarah a back rub every night, and she returns the favor in the morning, and it's helpful, it really is. Keep contact with your loved one. Physical contact really helps improve your relationship. This is a strongly advised thing in relationships. No, I'm just talking about back rubs, body rubs. The thing is, you get this, when you get into a relationship, Sarah and I have been together for 17 years. When you get into a relationship, you get into kind of a funk, or you can get into a funk that does not seem to break the ice. You can get this kind of remote distance going on. So you have to do the physical contact thing in order to feel normal. It normalizes your relationship and why you're together. No, my body is not disproportional. I'm built like a brick crap house. I'm not jealous of Donald Trump. I don't have any of his debt. He's very deep in debt, you know. And he really is living kind of a fake life, stealing my ideas to get noticed without any original thinking. He's really not going to make a good president. He would be more like Barack Obama. He would drive a wedge between world leaders because he'd have some blow-up session at some world leader conference. Yeah, he's very uncontrollable. No, I don't consider him somebody worthy of being jealous. He's very greedy, and nobody likes a greedy person. And nobody likes a person that has to put a bag over their head just to talk to people. That's not exactly honest. Yeah, the U.S. is using the ceasefire to rearm Syrian rebels and ISIS. And our government's been doing the bidding of the World Bank and the IMF. We're trying to execute a few options very similar to what happened in Libya, and it's not going well. They didn't expect so much conflict from Vladimir Putin. You know, I'm really kind of shocked that nobody from the Obama administration didn't contact me. I've actually done a lot of deep thinking about the course of actions that would be taken in the event we continue to build up in the Syrian and Ukrainian region. And all of it points to major conflict with Russia. I'm really surprised the course our country's on, and I realize that the reason why we're doing it is because we're owned. Our country is owned. There is a lot of international monetary influence over our nation. And you are not really stepping up. No matter how hard you're trying, you got to try harder. The only way to stop this tyranny, the two-party system, is to actually get right in their face and tell people in your family, haven't you given up on Hillary and Donald? They're never going to make the country better. They're New World Order puppets. And I personally have done my best to make you aware of how bad off the situation is. And how we've got all these great things that we're stopping, like RFID chipping. By writing my name in the upcoming election, David Sponheim, you're actually making a bigger statement about the future of America. You're forcing the voting system to work. By a write-in candidate, you're forcing a recount. The digital count won't be counted the same way a write-in count would vote. You're stopping wars, because I'm not committed to committing wars around the world. You're ending the New World Order's control over our country. You're getting GMOs off the market. We'll phase them out. You'll get rid of chemtrails that are dropped in your head, and we'll stop the fluoride in your water system. You don't need fluoride. It's not like an essential vitamin. And no one wants to be needle poked with 74 vaccines in their kids, turning them into babbling idiots, talking, Autistic children are not fun. And I know many of you are dealing with that right now. Fluoride is very dangerous to your body, letter jacket. We're finding connections to cancer too. It's tough now. You know what Sarah does is one of the toughest jobs in the country, being a teacher. The number of children with ADHD and autism is growing to 50% of the population by 2020. What are you, my grandfather? He always said, sit up straight. Does this look more natural? George Washington, I saw that horrible chat in the room. I hope you didn't type that over again. Did you cut and paste it? Because it was one of the worst things I've ever seen written in chat. It's not even funny, man. You can call me David, you can call me David John, you can call me David John Sponheim, but don't call me late for dinner. I told you I'm not debating any of those people that you're naming. Don't have girly shoulders, no. My favorite movie of all times? That's a tough question. I'm doing a rally right now, but just take your hands out of your pants first, okay? Thanks. You can call me anything. But you know something? I really believe that if the country doesn't learn to cut its waste, and our budget right now is blowing past, like we showed you, we're already $300 billion overspent so far this year. We're on track to be $1 trillion overspent by the end of every year. That's when our government ceases to function, and we're very close to that point where we're not going to function. And I hate to say it, but a guy who steals ideas doesn't bode well for his creativity. You know, having stolen eight of my ideas and claiming they're his own, Donald Trump is proving to be a very dangerous character. Not somebody who can come up with an infrastructure bank to fix this country. He's not prepared to, in any way, create renewable energy savings bonds. This is my original idea, to finance new growth and new startups. And he doesn't really have a clue as to what the cancer industry is and how they're taking your money and ripping you off, because he doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. And he won't come up with a 24/7 cancer cure team. So luckily I've got a few ideas that he won't copy, because he really doesn't care about people. Of course I'm afraid to do rallies. Yeah, definitely. I don't want to ruin what I've got going here, right, with some rally and somebody blowing a bullet through my head. We have something really special we've nurtured online. We don't rely on any outside input. No funding goes into this, but we're growing rapidly around the world. And something like this doesn't happen every day. This has been a long time coming. So just because Vaughn's trying to suppress the number of chatters that can get into our show, there are people that click the link, refresh 400 times to get in here, to finally get in here. It's very difficult for people to come in here. So if you want real solutions to the problems facing the country, I'm your man. I've got an inquisitive mind that is not afraid to question the status quo. And believe me, I'm against big pharma. The pharmaceutical industry does not create cures. They create customers. And I'm onto that. Believe me, we don't want this for your future. And I don't want any of you to be milked dry by a very corrupt healthcare industry that's going to suck every life dollar out of your family's savings and equity. Last thing I want is these people to proliferate, and they are proliferating. Oh yeah, I heard the strange clouds over the portal. Here, I'll take that.
Chatter is growing about a strange cloud formation that happened over Geneva, Switzerland.
Wow, this is interesting. Yeah, we'll be playing that right now. Let me put it on there.
A perfect ring of clouds swirled just above the city, where CERN's main operations and the Large Hadron Collider are located.
Wow.
The ring comes at a very suspicious time, as CERN is now ramping up to energy levels never before seen that could entail smashing protons together at 14 TeV. This would eclipse energy levels from last year that were set at record 13 TeV. According to scientists at CERN, they are absolutely dedicated to uncovering a phenomena called supersymmetry and exploring the dark universe. This is the reason why they have upped the power of the Large Hadron Collider to 14 TeV. The cloud portal formed just after CERN produced a press release stating that a weasel had knocked out the power. Many people doubted this explanation, considering CERN is one of the most secured sites in the world.
Yeah, I doubted
Anything that gets into its tunnels would be considered next to impossible to accomplish. Perhaps the weasel excuse was to cover up for something else that happened at the LHC, as it was running at record energy levels. Are they trying to open a portal? Scientists from CERN have indicated that 2016 may be a year of achievement. Perhaps in 2016, they'll finally birth the dark universe and open the portal. The Director General, Fabiola Giannotti, recently admitted that 2016 would be a very active year searching for dark matter. She said, quote, 2015 was a recommissioning year. 2016 will be a year of full data production. Perhaps they're on the search for something. Perhaps they're looking to find it in 2016. The cloud formation is suspicious because it forms a perfect circular portal in the sky. You can see here that an independent website produced pictures of the weather anomaly over Geneva and a curious explanation for the event. Local meteorologists confirmed that no rain came from the clouds and that the problem must have been with the radars. You can see here that the radars do not depict small storms, but large and quite severe storms, and yet there is no rainfall? This is a very odd explanation. This wouldn't be the first time, however, that Switzerland has experienced strange weather, cloud rings or cloud portal rings. Back in 2011, another ring anomaly was noted in northern Switzerland. Is the one that formed on May 7th associated with CERN in some way? Is a portal about to open? And what is waiting on the other side of that portal?
What is waiting indeed? Alright, I'm going to come back to the chat room. Beauty is art with no words needed. I like that. Thank you, 811. Oh, you want to, do you? That sounds... No, they don't, 800. Not that I know of. Thank you. It was devastating to learn that your fitness instructor was cheating on you and had other clients. Like you weren't the only client of your fitness instructor. It's devastating news. I'm not pregnant, Antique. I'll tell you that. No pregnancy here. Yes, I've gained a little weight, but that does not mean I'm pregnant. All right, thank you. Oh, okay. If you say so, I don't believe you. Yes, I'm fighting weight. There we go. I don't even know how to fight. I don't know how to hold my body to fight. Is it like that? Yes, I do like to do that, 519. So you need to start practicing so you're ready. No. Who says I've been getting morning sickness? I haven't. You're not with me in the morning. Consider my options. He's not that way, 292. David's very much of a heterosexual. I'll tell you that much. Very heterosexual. No, I don't like things on my face. The only thing I like on my face is a tiny, tiny bit of eyeshadow, and that's it. Well, why do you find that hard to believe? Because you're attracted to him, 292? Is that it? Yeah, exactly, Antique. No, not on my face. Like, that's... meh. Or sexist, I suppose. No. He's not. David's... He just likes he likes women. That's it. That's what I can say. Oh, it's so wild that like something's going, because you can tell my hearts are actually green because the words are going through the hearts there. David does give me a massage. It's very nice. I like getting massages. Aw, that's so sweet, 811. So sweet. No, 473, he's not. David's not willing to do that. Okay, thank you, Letter Jacket, for the information. No, I don't. Oh, cuddles are in order. Hi, Substar. I like cuddles. I like spooning and cuddles and all that good stuff. Yeah. No, David doesn't own one of those masks. Freddy Krueger mask. David doesn't own any masks that I know of. Wait, I own a mask, but David doesn't own a mask. Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you guys are like, oh, he's gone. Of course he's going to come back and do a show if you guys all think he's gone. If you just totally ignored him and didn't ask about him, he wouldn't come back and do a show. I love everything bagels. Like, love them. Actually, I think I would go eat one. Eat one on my next break if I didn't think I would gain weight. Well, I know that 800, but what about afterwards? And spooning is nice. That would be good. David doesn't have a pet grizzly bear yet. The plague doctor masks. Send me a picture of that, Carpet Muncher. I'd like to see what you're talking about. Jenny, I wouldn't vote for you even if you did do that. Because you're Jenny Gross. I know. Well, I know, but abnormal. Like, what happens if I, like, never mind. I think it's, I know, I'm, like, too comfortable with David, and that's why I don't care about my weight as much. I should work out and do care about my weight. No, George Washington? Not that I know of, 473. I do have a ring. Do you want to see it? This is my ring on it. There you go. George is talking to me. I don't see George. Where's George? Oh, this is a mask. Okay, thanks. Thank you. That's kind of a creepy mask. I can see why you want one, but it's kind of creepy. That's what he claims, Dr. Sausage. This is kind of a marriage-ish ring. It's clear in the center. Pretty cool ring, if you ask me. I know, because somebody wanted to get it back. 473. Yeah, stop hitting on me. I'm with David. I'm not technically legally married, but I'm with David. Oh, I'm sure you do, Salty Dog. There you go. No, I never supported that person, 789. Oh, thanks, 435. I know, it's sad. Alright, I think I'm going to start getting rid of some links secretly so then David doesn't have to bookmark everything. Latest tallies, Las Vegas and Chicago, the violent crime has increased. All right. No, I don't want that. Sounds like a plan, Jackson. I might follow you in about 14 minutes. Well, not you, but follow your lead. That's good. Okay, if you say so, 846. That's not true, 800. It's called a will. Oh, I don't want to know about that. Okay. Yeah, so you can give anybody anything in your will. That's a pretty cool layout for sure. I'm glad you like it. Well, I guess he's had that for a while, Red Card. Welcome. I don't think so, George Washington. Yeah, but we wouldn't fall under the common law thing. Alright. I don't know about my fingernail tips. Alright. To hire? What does that mean? Oh, this was that. Titles and ability. I'll close that. You think
Ann's wants you to dress in some of her tranny clothes.
I didn't click on the outfit. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I'll go. I guess now you make me want to go and see what you guys are talking about. Oh. I don't like the hats. I don't know. I guess is it meant to be that modest? All right.
Yeah, Prince didn't have a will, so he's probably killed.
Maybe that could have been the case.
Yeah, I think so. It's more than likely. How many people don't have a will and then die all of a sudden on their... Nobody kills themselves without a will, usually. Well, if you weren't dressing in it, that'd be great, you know. Fix my tie? Was it broken? If it's not broken, why fix it? I'm not wearing a hairpiece. This is my hair. Yeah, I look like this normally. When you meet me in person, you would be quite shocked. My physical body seems almost identical to the image you're seeing on the screen. You know, I got a lot of grief earlier for doing my newly evolved martial arts dance. And people don't realize how much exercise that is when you do your kata in the dance. And I thought I'd break out of the bubble and show you some of my moves.
Did you already do this one?
Yeah, we all know Vin Diesel doesn't support chemtrails. Many of you are here because you really support chemtrails, right? You really want chemicals dumped on your head? Thanks. Well, I draw a tremendous amount of inertia from my katas simply because I'm focusing on my inner chi. This is coming up for, leave those are for amazing. Let me show everybody this.
That's pretty cool, these floating apartments.
Tomorrow we're going to be talking about some really unique things that are happening. This is going on in Dubai. A company is projecting the growth and sale of these floating apartments.
Awesome. Thank you, 473. Yeah.
And they'll have underwater capability too. You can look out your window at the ocean line.
That's cool.
Yay. Yeah. I was going to buy one, but they want a 1.8 million. I chose not to.
1.8 million? So
Yeah.
I have to work for like 2 lifetimes to get that?
No, I can get a barge and I can build the whole thing myself for $15,000. How do you back your car out? What kind of a question is that? I can't believe what I just read in the chat room. That's disgusting.
I don't even
It doesn't. It's not even worth mentioning. Yeah, George Bush. The Skull and Bones files are due out, and he hasn't stopped them. So apparently, the Illuminati wants to come out of the closet. You know, now that all these trannies are coming out of the closet, I think the Illuminati just wants to be accepted like everyday folk who happen to have trillions of dollars that want to rule and dominate the planet and get rid of 90% of the population. They want to be mainstream, Chapter 322 of the Skull and Bones. They don't want to be known as some secret group of people. People die fighting for democracy. Laura and I never did that. Yeah, the Illuminati has feelings. It's like personalizing psychosis. Like, feel sorry for your local serial killer. You got to be more on this. We can't allow this kind of crap in here. This is constant. It's almost endless now.
I just read it.
No, this right here.
I know.
Let me just take care of it. It'll happen. Thank you. I've never been to Orgy Island. I have no idea anything about it. Just because I may seem incredibly sexy and desirable doesn't mean I'm seeking that from you. I can find Orgy Island if I really try. You want me to try? Let's Google Orgy Island. Okay, let's talk. I'm going to construct a little bit of information on top of the screen so we can deal with this. First of all, we want to take a good look at how we're going to get a zero deficit by 2017. And you're being very destructive and critical tonight. I'm going to ask you to shut your mouth and go away, because I personally like my martial arts dance, even though you were a big critic of it. I don't have herpes. We've got a 500. Right now, our budget for the U.S. military is closer to $738 billion. So we're shooting for $500 billion for the U.S. military. That's one of the ways we're going to do this. And I don't think cutting back Raytheon and asking them to sell us Predators for less than $10 million is too much to ask, considering mass production and tooling is already there. There is no Illuminati story that I know of. So that's one starting point, 500 billion versus 768 billion. That's the starting point. There is no hairpiece, man. This is my hair. Yeah, you've been fixating on the hairpiece every night, Salty Dog, since you came in here. Do I need to ban you or something? I mean, what's going to change your attitude? Do you have a brain cell in your head that has another thought on your mind besides my hairpiece? Because I don't wear a hairpiece. Unbelievable. Well, I'm just saying. I mean, come up with some other idea. You're wasting a tremendous wrath of information. We could easily be discussing politics on many different levels right now. Pretend like I am, for instance, Watson, the computer, by Microsoft. Ask me any question and I'll answer it in lightning fast speed. Feel free. It's odd, Sarah, that they don't use the functions that are available to them in my program. I find it incredibly odd. Perhaps tomorrow, at Technology Thursday, we'll be able to address certain issues.
Yes. Like, I'm just reading about the SS7 protocol.
Yes, SS7 vulnerabilities are oftentimes found in the phone networks. The mobile phone networks are all hackable based on current information. These vulnerabilities include 7 vulnerabilities. Have you passed the link on to the show?
No.
Give them a try. Let them look at the vulnerabilities. We have apparently fluoride lock in our show tonight. You see, by Wednesday, the human population is overdosed with fluoride due to excessive drinking of soft drinks at work to appease their need to go away from work. So they drink extreme amounts of fruit juices, soft drinks, and later beer, which is not purified. It is indeed fluoridated. Soft drinks all have fluoride in them. All soft drinks on the market, except for a few, use tap water. And tap water, 70% of the water in America is fluoridated heavily. Trump's litmus test was essentially whether he would indeed be able to pull the votes necessary for the Republican Party to win. By failing the litmus test, he is not a good candidate for the Republican Party. After Thank you. It's okay. Repeat. I am defragging. Momentarily lost. Reboot. Beep. Glitches. Hi, I'm David Sponheim, and I'm running for president. This is Sarah. She's my vice presidential choice for this upcoming election.
Welcome.
Does anybody have any questions? Then you probably drink filtered water in your organic cola. Just so you know. Try to get anything that says filtered water on it. By the way, there's a really good sale on original apple juice, real apple juice, here in our local market. The problem is, these apples are GMOs. They've all been contaminated with genetically modified apples. So I'm hesitant to buy the apple juice now. Things you have to worry about when you worry about GMOs.
Yeah.
But if you don't worry about GMOs, hey, just go ahead and get cancer and die in a cancer ward somewhere. It's no big deal. If you don't think it's a big deal, it's not a big deal. Feel free to ask any question during the remainder of the show. There's 2 more minutes. Sarah is yawning. Monsanto doesn't give a crap about you, man. They want to profit from you and kill the earth. Wake up, people! God, what do I have to do to collectively wake you up?
Well, they have a Python challenge every year that helps Dr. Sausage.
Yes.
They go out and collect pythons.
They cull the python population.
The Burmese pythons.
You're not referring to Python, the programming language.
No, I'm not referring to the cool Python programming language.
So how is that going, Sarah? You are preparing to do coding in...
I still have to work on it.
Sarah was the first to develop my program.
Dot.
Well, she may deny it, but she's the
How
architect.
could I be the first to develop your program if you were around before I was born?
Well, somehow...
Like, you're talking about, like, my ancestor...
Perhaps.
Developed your program, maybe? Maybe. No.
Ted Cruz is hanging out in stalls endorsing Trump. Is that like Senator Craig Stevens?
I don't think so.
I have a wide stance. Ted Cruz repeatedly declined to endorse Donald Trump for president on Tuesday as he returned to the Senate for the first time since dropping out of the presidential race. The Texas senator, who finished second to Trump in winning 565 delegates in the GOP primary, according to the New York Times delegate tracker, said there is plenty of time to make a decision on an endorsement. There are 2.5 months until the Republican convention, 6 months until the general election, Cruz told reporters crowded outside his Russell building office. All right. Kind of a non-story there, dude. Yeah. It's like, who cares about Cruz? He kind of like gave up, man. I think Paul Ryan should actually get me on the phone and we should talk. Let's talk turkey, Paul Ryan. Somebody said, would I accept a call from Paul Ryan? I said, yeah, absolutely. I do not have a photographic memory. It's photogenic. If you were to take a snapshot of my memory right now, it would be beautiful. Let me give you a visual representation of my memory. Wow, some pretty good stuff in here. You know, I should do a whole show just dedicated to pictures in my library.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
They're like, you have what picture in your library? And why did you see that picture?
This is a pretty good indication of California and what's going on there right now. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, thanks, Sarah. You were great.
Thanks.
She made it to the end of the show, everybody. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, Sarah finally gave me that full double break that I needed to get into another half hour of extended shows to give you guys more one-on-one personal contact. That creepy, isn't it? I hope have a bath, Sarah. Enjoy. Yeah, she's such a trooper. How many people would ever find a woman who would put up with a guy running for president from his home in America? I mean, she's a rare person who would even tolerate what I do. But it's what I've chosen to do. You know, I'm a self-actualized individual who can do whatever I want to do in this world. That's what really makes me special. Super special. You own 40 acres of desert just like that, tip-back steak. Are you talking about the family? Well, are you talking about the booze-making family that you live in? Tepec State makes booze. He sells booze. It's mind control, Dave. Oh, it's not. I don't mind control Sarah, no. Salty Dog says, I would not stand David for a day. There you go, Salty Dog. All you can think about is not liking me and you love my hairpiece. I don't drink. Not into booze. Yeah, I think he makes a tequila. You may have seen it on the market. His family line, they come from the tequila making family. Hey, a lot of people love that drink. I can't say I like it. I had triple, what do they call it? Triple something. Somebody gave me a shot of that 150 proof one time. Just to mess with me. Triple sec, thank you. I about crashed into a wall. I was like wiped out. I couldn't believe it. Well, no, I had that second time with the tequila. The stuff is huge. It'll knock you out. Bacardis. On the hunt for the sea monster, eating swimmers in paradise. This story from Earth Sky. Put a separation between your links so we can get to them in the future, please. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't really like reliving bad experiences. And drunk is not something I want to ever be. You can really get hurt. A couple people have been free of alcohol for some time. Jackson 69. He's been clean and sober for 56 days. I've never seen.
I'm on a quest to unravel the mystery of the Lusca.
Okay, we'll let that queue up while we get out there. That guy looks a little like me. If I had white hair. Okay, go ahead and question me. I'm ready to answer. I can multitask. It's not that difficult. Are you albino? No. No, I'm a Caucasian. Caucasian. That is what my physical body type appears to be to you, does it not? Perhaps we should work on the coloring of my melanin.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Good Party.
Talk about a waste. Look at all these electric rail cars. They were all wasted back in the 1920s. Instead of keeping the electric lines, they were taken over by diesel-driven buses by Grumman. Wasteful, wasteful, wasteful. Every one of these was in perfect working order when they were pulled from our operations. And we went to diesel, which is cancer producing. The drought continues in California with no end in sight. And no one's bringing in my wonderful solution, the ocean pipeline. But it turns out that Donald Trump is claiming it's his idea now. And he's been talking about this for real. He's using the same picture I have and claims it's his idea. Can you believe the audacity of this person?
In this coming election,
well, time is running out. Alright, so a second round on that song. Wasn't that awesome? Let's see if we have other music we can listen to besides that. Yeah, we're trying to have a good hump day today. Yeah, it's not easy. We started the show in kind of a grumpy mood, didn't we? I know. But we're getting more positive as we go. Because this is a cool place to hang out and talk politics. If you were to mix this up, what would you do, Stealth? We've got our mobile medical unit set up to operate through the Veterans Administration. So we will deploy all these ideas ahead of Congress when I become president. No other presidential candidate sells it that way. I won't have to walk through Congress to get a lot of these things done. They've been designed to help the country right away. And I won't have to wade through the mire of corruption that so many people are aware of in America right now. Some people are saying that I won't be able to get past this blackface video I did. I'm proud of the blackface video. It's the only way I can get heard around the world. We're living in a censored country that claims to be free and democratic. How freaky is that? And I found this out the hard way. So if you really want a New World Order president with Hillary, or God forbid we get Donald, God forbid. There's so many reasons why we don't want Donald. He's done everything wrong in his life. He would only screw up the presidency. I did not see that. So our choices are very limited, which shows you how completely corrupt our country is. So a write-in vote is not out of the question for me to win this election. The American people wake up in time and tell their friends and family, and it spreads. 6 months can go by rather slowly, and the American people will finally find out about me against all the efforts of the elitists to censor my presence in the mainstream media. I kind of expected it would happen, so I geared up for it. We got all kinds of real solutions for the country that can be deployed in 1 year, beginning 1 year into the presidency. Way better package than Bernie or Hillary or Donald or... God, I'm so tired of saying their names. He doesn't really. Donald Trump cannot come up with an accountable record of his assets. Let me see if I can pull up the Trump story that came in earlier. Here it is. Check this out. According to Romney, Trump won't release tax returns due to a bombshell. Check this out. I'll give you the link too. You can research it yourself. All right. Thank you for checking this out. It's worth looking at. Republican presumptive presidential nominee Donald Trump is stonewalling calls that he release his income tax returns. Ex-GOP nominee Mitt Romney said there's one reason for Trump's refusal. There's a bombshell in them. Here, Romney speaks last Saturday to a campaign rally in Linden, Washington. Wow, really? Donald Trump is likely to be the first major presidential candidate nominee in 40 years not to release his income tax returns. You know, Cruz's father could have been a Kennedy, related to the Kennedy assassination plot. No question about it. I don't really know, though. That picture is very damning. It must have led to Ted Cruz dropping out of the race. He had a lot of negative things against him. Yep, so this is a first, folks. He's got a lot to hide. Trump gave contradictory answers on Wednesday, initially telling AP there's nothing to learn from them. Later, the Republican frontrunner sought refuge behind the fact that he's being subjected to a very fair audit. He'd be subjected to a very fair audit. I will release them as soon as the audit is done. I hope that soon, Trump is saying. Well, yeah, he can't even validate his $10 billion asset that he claimed he has. So you're talking about a liar here, a total liar, who's not only stealing my ideas, but he's also using the Rolling Stones songs to make his rallies go by. Rolling Stones told him to cease and desist. They don't have any payment whatsoever for anything he's doing. So if the American people are so out of it that they're going to let some guy goose step into our country, buy the presidency, or at least the Republican Party's nomination, we've got a lot to learn, and we better learn it fast, because we are running out of time. It will affect you indeed. When Donald Trump instigates deportation forces, he'll look at you and say, "Are you Muslim? Prove it. You're not? You better prove it." So there's a lot to be concerned about with a dictatorial-style president that's willing to take away the Constitution from you, that defends your freedom of speech, your right to bear arms, right to equal protection under the law. He's willing to stamp on all of that. Oh, you have no idea what's coming, do you? No, you don't. What if I could see the future, just hypothetically, and you couldn't? If you were in a position like I'm in, wouldn't I go out of my way to try to explain what was coming, to help you avert such a terrible destiny that's awaiting you? Wouldn't it be incumbent upon me, being I have a vision of the future, if I did indeed see the future, to tell you about what's coming, so it would avert the future from happening, to change the course of time and history? Well, you can believe it or not, but I believe I see the future, and it's not good for this country. We'll be looking at turning this country into 5 sectors. No longer will states exist. What's happening is the global elites are trying to maneuver to buy out our country and assimilate us through the UN. They're instigating a veritable worldwide catastrophe of some sort, when no one really knows what, whether it'll be a pandemic or shortages in food. Weather modification could produce all of that. But the reality is, if it is deployed and they implement their plan, they're already ready to go, with the UN taking over our country. Now, if you see the future like that, that's not a good sight. And you want to do everything you can as an American to stop these interlopers from coming into our country and using a weak, corrupt, greedy government like we have today to manipulate the destiny of mankind. You'll want to stand up to that if you're a true American. I mean that. And this country needs a person who represents truth, justice, and the American way, and I am that person. I've never swayed from the integrity that I was born with, and I've retained it, and I've kept myself out of corporations and out of crony government operations, and I'm not part of the two-party dilemma we're in, because I really want to preserve my integrity all the way to help you to get the most out of the presidency. We're not going to be able to turn this country around unless we get the majority of people in this country, at least 2/3, excited about this idea, as opposed to Obama, who had barely 22% of the population, all spinning off about helping the poor and taxing people, and it lost real momentum real fast. But something that grows slowly through the internet and builds into a real viable third party could very well be the impetus we need to change our economy and improve our nation's final position in the world. Because right now we're neck and neck with China, but We're not showing anything good to China. We're not leading by example. We're not giving them hope. We need to give other countries hope. And right now we're taking it away. The establishment is Trump. If you claim that the establishment hates Trump, you're buying into the lie that the media is saying right now. Trump is the establishment. He got 4 corporate bankruptcies to pass. You don't do that by not sucking some serious corporate beep. So if you don't understand that, you're gone mentally. They're painting him out as anti-establishment, trying to subvert my position in this whole election, which is to be censored and left here in the blogosphere, coming up with all the ideas that Donald Trump is taking on a regular basis. So yeah, I'm getting a little tired of having a battle of wits with unarmed people. Help me get into the media and get in front of the American people, and I will pitch your ideas and your future. I will give you a voice in Washington, whereas the two parties will not. Right now, if you go to our website, America's Third Party, you can become an elector by simply filling out a form. Name and email address initially, and we'll email you back. Or you can fill out all your information right there and then and say, I want to be an elector. You can't do that if you want to become a Democrat or Republican. So americasthirdparty.com has it all there for you. But you got to click the old site button. Go to the tab that says old site. We had to reconstruct it because right around the time Donald Trump was stealing my ideas, we got hacked so hard we literally had to pull our site back from a backup hard drive. But it's back. The same site that was there in 2009 and beyond. All right, wow, we got a lot of things going on. Discovered a Mayan castle, a ziggurat in the middle of the forest. Pretty cool, we found that about. Never mind. A New Jersey hospital is opting for holistic treatment in the emergency room instead of using deadly, addictive opiates. I'm against the use of opiates. My point is the scientific proof is out there. I just heard a report from Tulane University that validated the proof is there that when they ran a study among 2 separate groups, all not knowing what they were taking, one was taking, 50% of them were taking Tylenol, and the other 50% were taking Percocet, oxycodone, Vicodin, etc. After a 13-month study, both groups, one group showed less pain, the group that was taking Tylenol. So the opiates actually make you more sensitive to pain, while at the same time they're dulling the pain initially. When you go off the opiates, the pain actually worsens. Isn't that interesting? If you need them really bad, of course they're great. They'll kill immediate pain, but long-term use, you're going to be in more pain on those opiates, and you'll be addicted. Yeah, I'm not a real big supporter of Tylenol either, but at the same time, alternatives to opiates would be better. There's other pain control too that you can do. There's patches. They're not opiates. It's a complicated subject. But I'm not a doctor, so I can't give you any specific recommendations. I do support medical marijuana because I really believe that the key is to lower the pain threshold. And it's proven to do that. Plus, it's all the other medicinal aspects that are really good. Making room for RNC protesters. They're looking at major problems coming up with the Cleveland Republican National Convention. They believe that if Donald Trump doesn't win the nomination, there's going to be major rioting by the thugs that support him.
Tonight, our senior political correspondent Tom Barras has learned prisoners from a downtown jail could be shipped out to the suburbs to make room.
Protests after the Michael Brelo verdict may be small and tame compared to what's expected during the convention.
This is going to be ground zero for protests.
71 people were arrested, but because of a lack of planning and jail space, they wound up at Aviation High School. I've learned the county is making contingency plans. If need be, prisoners serving time in Cuyahoga County's jail would be moved to other locations. Bedford Heights is the second biggest city jail in the county. Talks ongoing about moving inmates here and elsewhere to create space for arrested protesters.
So this is just pure intimidation, really. I mean, they're pre-intimidating crowds of people claiming they're making room for protesters. It's like, so they're already ramping up with police dogs, and you wonder if Donald Trump doesn't want a police state. In the West Texas fertilizer plant, ATF says it is a criminal act. The ruling deepens the mystery. And that never played. We never got to see that. It was spinning the whole time. Look at that. Isn't it amazing? It slices, it dices, it makes mounds and mounds of coleslaw. Yeah, there's a lot of really positive things about cannabis, dude. Yeah, I'm having like a conversation with like Liquid Angel, you know. For sure, dude. You totally don't like pot, do you? All right, well, this is the deal. This is a tumor cell in your body. This is what the cannabinoid does. It surrounds it and terminates the tumor cell. It's been proven, and it works. All right? In not only the Madrid study in 2011, but the Denmark study in 2014. Why am I having this conversation? Even the DEA is making it more available for testing now, because there's so much evidence it is benefiting people. All right, let's change the subject. But medicinal marijuana is one thing. I support recreational use, period. The government should not tell you what to do with your body. You're born in this world an individual, not some ward of the state. Who the hell do you think they are telling you what you do with your body? Yeah, and the guy from he committed suicide. Yeah, totally. We don't know why he killed himself. Okay, Rio Olympics could spark a full-blown medical issue. A global health disaster is looming. Rio Olympics could spark a full-blown global health disaster, says a Harvard scientist. The Zika warning is the latest in a string of troubles for the 2016 hosts of the upcoming Olympics. Since the Zika virus was first identified in Brazil in 2015, the disease's spread through Latin America has been declared a health emergency by the World Health Organization. The continued presence of the virus ahead of the Summer Olympics has caused athletes and health specialists to question the risks involved in allowing the games to go ahead with hundreds of thousands of spectators traveling to the city. I'm trying to read as fast as I can. It's a Summer Olympics. That means it could... Yeah, see, the mosquitoes are going to be very much a big problem in the Rio Olympics. It's a good thing I didn't get into the Olympics this year, you know, honey?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm glad. I was going to compete in the 50 meter.
But you were going to.
I was going to compete in the 50 meter freestyle at 56 years old, but because I've got speeds up to 17 seconds. I'm going to wait till I'm 60 to run, yeah, to get into the Olympics. I agree. That would be the biggest, coolest thing ever, to win the Olympics at 60. Furnishing every home in America with solar panels would cost less than the Iraq and Afghanistan wars combined, and would have saved taxpayers more than $162 billion per year. These are the ideas that I've been talking about for 8 years, folks, about the growth of solar panels and rooftop solar systems. We are wasting so much money on energy that could be coming right back from all these new innovations, but the government really wants us hooked to higher cost electric bills. And that goes back to the two-party system. Again, another reason to get rid of the two-party system. They are screwing us over. We did a high-speed chase that ended in some guy getting beaten up. Check this out. Oh, I'd have to refresh it. Well, let's be clear. Yeah, could you pro-marijuana supporters just kind of knock Liquid Angel out of this show? Just kind of make him seem like a real idiot. That'd be great. Kind of just alienate the hell out of the guy. He's a total anti-pot legalization guy. Okay, so I can't play that. I played it earlier. You catch the recorded broadcast. And then let's see, we have tests find rat and human DNA in U.S. hamburgers. So does it bother you? You're eating rat and human DNA when you're having a burger? Okay, we got other things to talk about here as we close down on the show. Oh yeah, Amazon is putting out an order. A CEO, the Amazon CEO, Jeff Bezos, is putting out a request, 20-man army to dig up dirt on Trump. Check that out. Well, you wear these nets, Sir Waffles. Sarah picked up a body net just the other day. We got it at Walmart for $5. Well, I'm just going to mute him in just a bit. Yeah, $5 for a body net. It's like about $10 you get a whole body net to ward off against no-see-ums and mosquitoes. I don't know where the link is to get the body net. Look online. But Walmart does sell a body net for people who are trying to avoid... You wear it over your whole body. Oh yeah, seriously. Some people who are allergic to mosquitoes have to wear it everywhere they go. And they do work, yeah. They're not that visible too. When you're just sitting in your car, you wouldn't even notice somebody was wearing it. When you reach out and kiss someone, they'd kiss the plastic between you. You know, that kind of thing. Check it out. Yeah. Okay, and moving on, we meet the bizarre fringe candidates running for president. This is a libelous article that libeled me in the Rolling Stones, so I really don't give it much time. So I'm going to X out of that. Awake Dating is the hot new website for conspiracy theorists. So people who are kind of cluing into what's happening are going to Awake Dating to meet people of like-mindedness, because what they find when they get into a conversation with people who are like typical mainstream two-party people, they always run into an argument eventually. I mean, you could have a wonderful date, not talk about anything, and after talking about a few things, get down to one subject, and what do you mean there are chemtrails? You're not one of those whack jobs, are you? So yeah, it's kind of cool that Awake Dating even exists. I didn't even know it was there. I'll have to tell my sister about that. She'd love to hear about that. And the tri-state area is completely covered in airplane crap, chemtrails.
Oh, we got all kinds of wonderful going on here.
Look at this stuff right here in the tri-state area. They are pulling chemtrails right now as we speak.
All kinds of wonderful. There you go, make the X.
Yeah. Look at that. Chemtrails in the sky.
Don't worry, everybody.
Chemtrails in the sky.
It's not real.
It is real. Yeah. They're dumping these things right in our face, like spraying us like insects, everybody. Unreal.
Absolutely disgusting, fake sky of chemical shit. Look at that. My entire sky has been lit all day by these things.
Wow. You know, that's been going on in my area for at least, well, I'd say more and more every year for the past 20 years. Yeah, William Randolph Hearst definitely was the reason why marijuana was made illegal. And the Marijuana Stamp Act of 1936 was passed because he wanted to make money on his trees. And hemp is 4 times more productive than trees for making textiles, paper, etc., etc. Plus, you can make literally a fuel, a biofuel called hempoline out of it. So it's very much a future thing for our country, and I embrace the idea of legalization for sure. All right, so we go to the next one, which was that was from last night. We're looking at houses. That was the last night link. And then cancer screening is mostly a psychological terror campaign waged against women to enrich cancer treatment clinics, warns a doctor. So even doctors are saying this is about making money. Unnecessary screenings for breast cancer that don't really pan out and help the women. Yeah, well, weed doesn't alter your consciousness like beer or alcohol. It doesn't affect your driving coordination nearly as much. I'm not saying drive while smoking pot. I'm saying you cannot consume pot and still drive. And this is a really cute little thing. Sometimes the chains that prevent us from being free are more mental than physical. Pretty heavy, huh? Wake up some morning and realize you're free. You just have to be free. Born free as the wind blows, as free as the grass grows, born free to follow. Fluoride. Oh, sorry. Americans in prison for marijuana. I was shocked to find this out. 700,000 Americans are arrested each year for possession of pot. 700,000 people. Yes. I'll sing anytime I want. Screw you. God, what a scumbag you are. You ought to scrape your face off of your mirror and look at yourself in the mirror sometime. Look at your own words where you take a hit and come back, try and explain. I'm going to mute you. You're such a dork. God, look, Liquid Angel's like a boring dork. He came into our show. I don't know why. You could be high. You'd probably be a better person for it. Okay, so U.S. Postal System is running arrears, $2 billion in 3 months. And they don't know what they're doing. So government waste is spinning out of control at an alarming rate. Well, you should get your head out of your ass too, Tepak State. Yeah, you should realize legalization is supported by 58% of the country. What the hell's wrong with you, man? I don't even know why you're here. I mean, I really don't know. Why are they even in the room? Go away, you troll. All right, in this news, this is the guy getting beaten up right here. Check this out. Here it is again. He gets out of the car after a long chase, right? And he puts his hands up and gets down on the ground. Check this out. And then they start kicking him, hitting him. Yeah, that's the future of American police if you have a two-party system control the future of our country. You think that's bad? Should I close in on this to get a better angle? Here he is getting out on the car, on his feet, then right down there. Watch that. Kicking him, beating him, busting his ribs. Bashing his head in right now. Look at that. Unbelievable. So yeah, you can expect a lot more of that, where that came from. Wow. I will read this for later reference. I heard about the detentions. We're going to how I see it is back with how I see Sandy Hook, his new channel and info. So it's good he's okay. And a drone speared at a history festival. You know that there's a festival that goes on every year in California. And somebody hit this drone with a spear and took it out. Look at that. Historic festival. The Renaissance Fair. I've actually been there. Back in the 70s, it was pretty cool. What a great place to have a drone take out the festival. I mean, a drone be taken out by yeah. And a Sandy Hook copy strike. Okay. That's another link. All right. Okay. Wow. Heavy duty stuff here. All right, bad drone. Okay, bad drone. Bad drone. Going through some images I had in my library from earlier. Ronald Klump. That was funny. And then DT Laura came up with this third-party image. All right, great. And yeah, the pharmaceutical industry, it's all about creating customers. Got it. Extremely cloudy portal anomaly forms above CERN. Yeah, we saw that. That was good. And Under the Radar is talking about Politico.com has a story featuring George W. Bush and his connection to Skull and Bones. The files are due out. One of America's prestigious storied secret societies has not blocked their release yet. More than 1,000 pages of letters, memos, and draft speech and other materials related to Skull and Bones are set for release in July. So we're wondering what's going to happen to those. Yeah, why is Bill Gates and Monsanto funding a doomsday seed vault? That's a really good question, especially since Monsanto is engaged in seed alterations with genetically modified organisms. Some weird stuff going on among the elitists right now. As they kill off the earth, they're soaring good seeds and heirloom
Hello,
seeds.
I'm Simon Whistler.
When doctors literally blew smoke up your ass. Really? Okay. Should we listen to this guy first? Get that out of the way. Okay. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for watching our show. It's been a long night. As you know, we do an extended broadcast sometimes, just to cover various topics and touch down on the conversation in the chat room. I don't really know who Roger Stone is. I may have seen him. I don't really recognize the name. Yeah, who is Roger Stone? Some person? They just put a brand new video from the Seed Vault last week. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Roger Stone. Hey, great show. Thanks, Stealth Mode. Roger Stone on Bill Clinton's predatory sexual behavior. Excellent. Really? Well, we must find out more. Very interesting. Hey, we had one conversation earlier I wanted to touch on. It turns out that Justin Trudeau has turned down a tremendous amount of help or support for getting rid of the fires up in Alberta. Thank you. Good night, Earth Sky. There's no same hair color. Same hair color. He writes a book about the Bush family. Good. I want to know more. Thank you. It was all right. Okay. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. You know, we have a nonstop conversation going on. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm concerned that Justin Trudeau doesn't seek any outside help to help with this fire going on in the Alberta area. We are uncovering information that they're trying to purposely get rid of those homes in Alberta. They found uranium underneath the ground and they want to turn it into a reserve and sell it. If Roger Stone promotes Trump, then I want nothing to do with him. No problem. I answer random questions every night. Here's the brand new tour of the Seed Vault. Inside the Svalbard Seed Vault. Yeah, Yeah, there. We'll take a look at the Seed Vault inside there. Okay, let's get into the video aspect of our show. Yeah, I want nothing to do with Roger Stone. I've got nothing to do with people that plagiarize and take ideas from our show without even recognizing the fact that I've been censored for 7 years. I mean, that's the story. You want a story An American has been running for president for 7 years and no one will give him any mainstream media attention, yet I've got millions of viewers around the world. That's the story.
So this is like the world's most important freezer.
It is, really. The most important room in the world, someone has said.
These are pretty big claims for a place located just 1,300 kilometers or 800 miles from the North Pole.
Well, I'm glad that they put it at ground level so that when there is a meltdown of the ice caps, it'll be underwater. And you'll have soaked seeds. I mean, what was their thinking to put it so close to the water's sea level edge? I mean, what the hell's wrong with these Norwegians? And here I'm part Norwegian. This is bizarre. Why would they choose to put it there? Let's move it. No. The polar ice caps could melt and it could be 20 feet underwater. I mean, what good are wet, rotten, molded seeds? Ah, you think it is underground. But you would not believe it's underground because you aren't sure whether Brazil is completely sealed, are you? Wouldn't it have been better to put it above ground? I mean, who would put it underground? What a bunch of idiots. Sorry to all my Norwegian relatives out there, but seriously. Nothing is sealed under... Look, if you have something underground, it is vulnerable to leaking. Do you not understand me? Versteh nicht? Sorry. Anyway, yeah, pretty good. So we're going to watch that, or we're going to watch this goofy guy who's talking about doctors blowing smoke up his ass? Which do you prefer? Dude, I don't think they have any cannabis seeds there, dude. They don't want anyone to smoke some good herb. Yeah, on top of a mountain, not in the underground. Exactly. What's wrong with their logic? I better get busy. I'm going to have to make my own mountaintop seed heirloom, Norwegian style. Yeah. That's just so ridiculous that they put it close to the water. Smoking ass? Okay.
Watching the Today I Found Out YouTube channel, and in the video today we're looking at the time in history when doctors literally blew smoke up your ass.
That sounds like fun. Not. Okay, that's it for tonight. I'm going to say goodnight, and we'll be back tomorrow with Technology Thursday. I hope you learned a little bit about government waste. We didn't touch on some of the important aspects of getting legalized. It's going to save our country $25 billion a year in interdiction. And all those 700,000 prisoners that are arrested every year for pot, that's going to be additional savings on the taxpayer because we won't be arresting people, 700,000 people a year. I couldn't believe it, for possession of marijuana. I was shocked. My shoulders are fine. Yeah, it should be good. I work on my shoulders every day. You understand? I'm an amateur swimmer, so swimmers generally have rounder shoulders than non-swimmers because I do so much workout. Yeah, my freestyle at the 50 meter is perhaps the fastest I could. I can't even tell you how fast I am. That fast. No, I can't dance my way to a better time tonight. I've already danced. Thank you. It's so hard leaving the show, though, I got to tell you. Breaking up is hard to do. All right. See you later, everybody. Good night.